Hello, boys and girls. How are we doing? It's Sunday, which is different from Saturday, I admit. I did say I would be back on Saturday, and Saturday it is not. It is Sunday. It's because I had Matt here all afternoon yesterday, hopefully fixing the lag problem that we had with the gameplay on stream. We've taken away. We did go live for about 30 seconds yesterday. That is true, because he was just testing the stream settings. He was supposed to be on Twitch test mode, but went live on Twitch very quickly with Matt sat at the computer. But yeah, fingers crossed. The issues that we were having are now resolved. We did test it quite a lot yesterday, and it looks like it's fine. Believe it or not, trying to send streams to YouTube and Twitch and record both in 4K and record the camera in 4K all at the same time. Would you believe that was stressing my computer out a little bit? Would you believe it, boys and girls? So yeah, I think we've fixed it. We're now only recording in 1080p. We've taken the camera down to 1080p for the streams. It will still be 4K for the videos, but because the streams are only in 1080p, we don't need to use the camera on the 4K setting. So the camera's doing 1080p, and that's all we're recording. And the streams have been optimized. I don't know what any of this means. Matt's the nerd. But bottom line, we should now be lag free on the matches on the stream. That's the hope. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Thank you very much for everyone who's already subbing, by the way. I see you, you little rascals. Kadarn the Mad has done 15 months. Wills has done 6 months. Weasel Gamer TV's done 33 months. We have a hype train up and running. Topher's done 74 months. Chaos Gav's done 16 months. Offshore Wasted has done 38 months. Thank you very much, one and all. It is very much appreciated. Hello, YouTube. I see you as well. Speaking of computers being stressed, is there still the holiday feature? Yeah, there's still the holiday feature. We're like 400 years into simming. I've been in London all day for EGX and Comic-Con. And when Matt left last night and I finished recording last night's videos, I set the holiday file to sim, and it was still simming when I got home, and it's like 400 years in the future now. So the 100 years in the future video hasn't done very well today, so we might skip 250 and go straight into 500 years in the future in a few days' time. But yeah, there might be a lot of negativity about FM26 out there, a lot of which I don't agree with. But one thing nobody can argue with, FM26 simulates like a rascal. I've never known anything like it. We're going to have 1,000 years done before the end of the beta, which is bonkers. That is bonkers. So yeah, that's a good thing. We are going to address Darren Ferguson being fired and addressing when Darren Ferguson will be rehired. I've not seen any news all day, so for all I knew, he'd already been rehired, and it wouldn't have surprised me. I thought you were telling me he'd already been rehired. The worrying rumor is Steve Evans, which anyone who's been on the streams for a little while knows I'm not a fan of his. And I don't know if the other rumour of Russell Martin is more or less worrying. He is a former Posh captain. It isn't just a plucked out of mid-air nonsense. Russell Martin was Posh captain before he went to Norwich. So I'd probably take him. But he's not had a good year, has he? Old Russell Martin, bless him. Plus he's former McDonald's as well. He's got like 3 strikes as far as I'm concerned. Evans has ruled himself out. Good, I've ruled Evans out. I'd rather have Russell Martin than Evans. I don't want Grant McCann because we've had him twice. I don't want Wayne Rooney's not still pretending he's a football manager, is he? He's a pundit now, surely. I don't think Rooney's going to try, would it be a 3rd time? I think Rooney's done. Barry Fry's like 85 years old, so it's not going to be him. Sam Allardyce isn't going to do it, is he? We can't afford Sam Allardyce. Darren Mullaney, thank you very much for the super chat on YouTube. How do you sim a season? Right, let's jump into the game and I'll show you. So to sim, all you do is go onto your manager profile, which lives in career, and then profile. And then from here, you have a little drop down, go on holiday, click on that. It works exactly the same as it did on FM24 once you get in there. I suspect as well, just like with a lot of things in FM26, if you just type it into the search, it doesn't. That's interesting. A lot of things, I guess manager profile, if you can't find that, manager profile. Ah, well, that's made me look like a plum, hasn't it? We can get as far as manager. Darren Ferguson. I mean, there you go. Darren Ferguson, height. I mean, wouldn't surprise anybody. But yeah, most things you can find in the search because the search is pretty good. That's not one of those things. But yeah, you go into career, profile. There's probably other ways to do it as well. That's the way I've found so far. There might be other ways. But yeah, you can. That's Jack's favourite button. You can holiday as much or as you don't need to have a job either to be able to holiday. You can just be unemployed and holiday indefinitely. Have I had the email about English clubs releasing youth players yet? No, we're not far enough in. We're only in August. We've not even gone through deadline day yet. Just press the date at the top. Does that get you there as well? Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go. Just press the date at the top and you can go on holiday from there. There you go. See, we're learning together. This is why I'm going to be streaming more, at least early on in FM26, because we're all learning together and we're all going to find things at different rates. And yeah, I'm gonna pick up as much from you lot as you pick up from me sometimes. But yeah, there you go. That's an even quicker way to get there. Click on the date at the top and you can hit go on holiday and that brings up that exact same pop-up then. So that's an even quicker way to do it. Lovely, lovely, lovely. On that note, has anybody, and if you've seen my 100 Years in the Future video, you'll know what I'm going to ask. Has anybody found, and it might be that it's not in the game, but it's bonkers if it's not in the game, but has anybody found where league position history lives? Does anyone know where that is? So if we go into the club, we've got... So go in the club a bit further. See, I've not spent a lot of time on these screens yet. There you go. Maybe we even go... Is it club history? Yeah, so you get in here. I don't know why we're comparing ourselves to AFC Wimbledon. That seems a bit odd to begin with. But we've got this little graph. The graph is useless. Why are we on AFC Wimbledon? I mean, it doesn't matter, I suppose. But A, this graph is useless because it has no indication of what league it is. But also, you can't hover over it to see what our position is. And I can't find anywhere that goes back any further than this. And like on the 100 years in the future thing, Posh are not in the playable leagues, but I can't look up what year they got relegated. And I don't think it's in here. I just can't find it. But it should be there. So, has anybody found it? Team report on that page says it. Where is team report? Team report. I mean, it doesn't, does it? It's not going to be in there. Can you use the search bar? Yeah, but I don't really know what I'm searching for. What would it be called? I don't know. Position. No, because that's bringing up player position stuff. League history. Team history. Just history. Club history records. That might be it. No, this is what I showed on stream. Oh, not on stream, in the video. Where I think we could go back season by season and look at previous seasons' highest and lowest league position, but it's not that useful because so we can see, this was the weird thing. You can see their highest league position and lowest league position for every season, but not the finishing position. And I want to be able to see the last 10 finishing positions. And I don't think it's in here. And if it's not in here anywhere, it needs logging as a bug because it's probably not a bug in the purest sense of what a bug is, but it's obviously an oversight because there's no reason for it not to be in there. So and it's obviously data that they have, because the screen we were just on, that I now can't remember where it was, records the highest and lowest. So they know what league they're in, so they must know what position they finished in. But yeah, if anyone finds it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll log it, and hopefully we'll get it added in. Would be in the stages of the league competition. Maybe. Oliver, thank you very much for gifting Matt a sub. Probably could have done that myself for to thank him for sorting us out. I mean, I say that, we haven't tested it to see if it works yet. But I assume it works. Right, I need to do Topher an intro for the YouTube video. And then we'll crack on with the stream. So hold on, boys and girls. This is for Topher's eyes only. Everyone else, shut your eyes and ears. This is YouTube video exclusive content. And I would hate to spoil that for you. Well, in real life, Darren Ferguson has just been sacked as Peterborough manager. So we have new success criteria for this save. If I survive longer than the 25th of October, I win, because I've overperformed against reality. We've not yet finished the August transfer window, so we've got a little way to go. But we might get there now. And if we do, I think I deserve a prize for being better than Fergie. I think I do. I think I do deserve a prize, by the way. So if anyone can think of a prize, assuming I achieve that goal. Beagles, thank you very much for 50 months. Morgan, thank you for 55. Marlborough Man, thank you for 2 months. Lou Reed, thank you for 25 months. But yeah. One take Kev. Exactly. Weasel Gamer thinks they've found it. Right, do you want to try and explain to us how we get there? Yeah, it's not going to be that easy to. I mean, this is our start to the season, so we were doing great. That was a top of the table clash when we played Wigan. We won our first 2 games, top of the table clash. We've lost our last 3, so we do need to turn that around. But we've done some jolly good transfers. And if we have a look at our transfer history, which there you go, look at me remembering. No. Where's transfer history? I thought it was there. You would think you'd click history and it would show you transfer history, but it's not. And I think it's in here, isn't it? Transfer history. There you go. So we've signed quite a few players, including bringing Sariki Dembele back to the club. We've spent £5.5 million, which is more than Peterborough United have ever spent in one window, ever. So I've certainly had more money to spend than Fergie had. So no excuses if it all goes wrong. We're playing Southampton in the Moose Cup, so we're probably going to lose this. Full disclosure, I've seen this game like 15 times because this was the game we kept playing over and over again when Matt was testing. We never won it. So I suspect we are going to lose. Kev is a reloader confirmed. But yeah, let's see how we get on against Southampton, eh? Oh, we're going to make it 4 defeats in a row. Posh Connor Smith, thank you for 47 months. Tom Yo, thank you for 2 months. Jake, thank you for 46 months. Logic Don says, type it in the search. Yeah, but what do you type? Type what in the search? I don't really know the name of what we're looking for. Maybe I need to look up what that screen was called in FM24. And then at least I'd know what we were looking for. Right, are we on the right game speed? We are. So I think we are officially settled on 1.25 times. And you know what? I'm not bothered about broadcast. All broadcast does is shows you the player's bum when they're taking a corner. So I don't think I need that extra animation in my life. But yeah, keep an eye out for are we smoother now? Because it was always smooth for me. It was always a stream issue. Are we now 100% lag free? That's what we're shooting for. Reindeer Police, thank you for the prime. Much smoother, no lag. Good work, Matt. Round of applause for Matthew. His dirty mug's still in here from yesterday. Didn't clear up after himself, but he has fixed all of our problems. So thank you very much, Matt. Once again, proving yourself to be the true hero of the Football Manager community. What a guy. We had our dinner. In fact, I was going to tell you the name of where we got our dinner last night, but I'm not going to because there might only be one in the country and it will let you know what Just Eat radius I'm in. But it was a funny name. It was a very funny name. We had some delicious burgers. I was wondering something with the new in possession and out of possession setup. Here we go. What is the difference between an inverted fullback and a centre back in possession and a fullback in out of possession? So I don't know. That's the kind of thing that I guess we'll start testing the deeper we get into the game. It could be that you can make similar things happen with different types of instruction. It might be a difference in player instruction, because the player instructions, the player roles don't just dictate the position a player takes up. They also have player instructions attached to them. So maybe, and this is pure speculation, maybe if it's a fullback out of possession and a centre back in possession, or whichever way around you asked, maybe they are slightly less attacking, or they pass more or dribble less, or there's probably some differences, but I suspect there will be similar player movements that can be created in different ways depending on exactly how you want it to work. And we're barely scratching the surface. I've played 6 matches. We're barely scratching the surface and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll learn that as we go, I guess. Where is Ricky J. Jones in real life? He went somewhere in Germany. I can't remember where. I want to say Frankfurt, but that doesn't feel right. I don't think he'd have gone to a club that big. But I think they began with F. St. Pauli. There you go. That's where he is. I don't know where I got Frankfurt from. But yeah, he's gone to Germany. Something uncanny about the ball. Looks like it's floating above the ground. I mean, it's Football Manager. Looks like the ball in Football Manager to me. we can't have everything. I think that, I know there's a lot of criticism about FM26 out there, but one thing I don't think anybody can criticize is this match engine and the improvements, both in terms of like animation, physics, graphics. This maybe less so, because I don't like the 2D thing, but the actual match view, I don't think we can criticize, because it is, I think, I don't think there's any way to dispute that this is a huge leap forward from where we were. It might not be all the way to where we're going. Maybe the ball is still a little bit weird, but it was weird before. It was Football Manager. At least the players look like they've got legs they're in control of now. Match stats is missing again. So it is. Weirdly, I think that's a this save thing, because I've not had that issue at all with Arsenal. So I think we've got a save file specific bug, which is interesting. One criticism I don't get is people saying 80% of the game is UI, when I'd say most of my time is spent in matches. Exactly. I've got a video coming out tomorrow morning where I kind of try and address that kind of stuff a little bit and try and make the point in a very confused way that different people play the game really differently. And yeah, I would agree. 80% of my time playing Football Manager is in matches. It's not in the UI at all. So to me, if they've improved the UI and worsened if they've improved the match, but at the expense of the UI, that's still a net gain, because I spend more time in matches than the UI. Now, I know there are people, if Matt's still there, he's an example. I remember Matt did a stream once where he streamed for like 3 hours and didn't press continue. I cannot dream of that world. I just couldn't play like that. But some people really, really, really like menus. Whereas some people like football matches. And neither of those is right or wrong, but it will fundamentally change your thoughts on this game. Do not click where the match stats box is, as it crashes when it's missing. Okay. I won't click on it then. I don't want to have my first crash. That would be a disaster. I'm enjoying being able to say I've not had a crash yet. And I want that to continue long into the future. If you're losing, then click it. Now there's a good shout. With the UI, and I don't know if they can change it, but customization on screens would be nice again. I think the reason there isn't any customization is because they've basically had to rebuild parts of Unity to make Football Manager work in it, I think, is my understanding of it. So it's not possible to have customization yet because they need to release the software to allow you to do it, because they've made their own unique software to be able to customize it. So they need to make a version of that they can release so people can then mod it. Whether or not someone hacks it sooner than that, I guess we'll see how the online hive mind works. But yeah, it's not that they've made the decision in Sports Interactive Towers to be like, we don't want people to be able to modify our game. It is more, they can't modify the game yet. We're not finished making it. What do you want us to do? Take time away from making it to make you some software to mod it with? That seems counterintuitive. So let them finish first. And when they're finished, they might be able to put a team onto creating some mod support. And then you might be able to do some customization. I guess we'll see. But again, I'm somebody who never really customized very much anyway. I did my squad view, which I can do in FM26. I released it yesterday. If you haven't watched yesterday's Arsenal video or don't follow me on Twitter, you might not have seen it. But my LOLLUJO view is out in the wild. It's probably in this save. I assume it just loads up in every save once you've added it. Shall we check? Oh, you have to continue before you can come out of this, don't you? See, we're learning. We're still learning. Right, if we come in here, I think, yeah, so my LOLLUJO view has come across. So this screen straight away, much better. Now it's got that on there. It's got the information that I need, and that's good. So there is a little bit of customization, but yeah, there's less than there was before. To be honest, I wish we'd go back to the match day customization we had on like FM19 or whenever it was, when you used to be able to add those little boxes and put them anywhere on the match. We've not been able to do that for years. And I miss that still. If they were going to bring any of it back, bring that. I want to be able to have the league table hovering on the screen where I put it at all times. That was great. Can you praise players for training well and fix all morale problems still? I never did it before, so I don't know. You'd have to ask people who like to do cheesy stuff like that. I've had people saying you can't rest players and you can't select all. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? Because there you go. That's me selecting all the same way you did before. And somewhere in here, you can rest. There you go, rest players. So that's not changed. That's exactly the same as it was before. But what I've seen people complaining that they've taken this away. Not only have they not taken it away, it's in exactly the same place it always was. It's literally one of maybe 5 things that's not moved or changed at all. So that's confusing. Right, we're going to play one more game before we accept we've got to change the tactic. We can't judge it based on Southampton. But if we lose again, we do start to get ourselves into a little bit of trouble, and we don't want to be in a little bit of trouble. Of course, you can praise training, just not with a button in the inbox message, but with a right click, the usual way you talk to players. Oh, there you go. It's not something I've ever really done, but yeah, interaction, praise, training. Yeah, there you go. You can't see it because it's behind my head. Hold on. Let's find someone who's not behind my head. So interaction, praise recent game, praise last game, praise training, praise conduct. So it's all in there. Where is Ryan de Havilland? Why is he unregistered? I feel like that's a problem I should address. Yeah, I think obviously there are certain things that have been removed, but there are other things that are just maybe not in the same place they were before, that you just need to find and get used to where they live now. And some of that will feel more intuitive and some of it will feel less intuitive. Like another thing that I've seen people complain a lot about is that the spacebar doesn't take you through every message in your inbox. And a lot of people are really upset about that. They want to be able to just hit the spacebar and have it go through inbox messages. I am the complete opposite of that. I don't want to have to read every message. I love the fact that in FM26, I can just press continue and not even look at my inbox. And unless there's something I have to deal with, the game isn't forcing me to. So all those stupid emails that I don't need to see, that you're not reading anyway, you're just robotically clicking spacebar to pass through. You're not actually reading them. I don't even have to see them. I think it's great. Just, it has a whole tab for tasks. So the ones I have to interact with, I still have to interact with. But the other 90% of emails, I can just completely ignore. It's phenomenal. So I see that as a huge positive. And that's why it's not fair to say the game is awful. You might not like the game and it might not suit you, but goodness me, it suits me. That I think is great. But the emails are the game. No, they're not. Playing football matches is the game. You could always do that by clicking continue. Okay. And now it's the default. So you've had 30 years of your way being the default. Now my way's the default. If you want to go for every message, you still can. You just have to click on your messages and use the arrow keys. So you can still skim read because you just use the up arrow or the down arrow. So you can still skim through your emails like that if you want to. But the default is now the opposite. It's my way. So all they've actually done is just changed what the default way of playing is. And I would like to think they've done that based on data. And they've been like, actually, the majority of people aren't reading these. They've probably got data in there that's like, on average, each email is on screen for 0.03 of a second. So people obviously aren't reading them. So shall we make it so the default is not, and then the people who want to read them can go in, rather than having the default being the thing that nobody's doing and people having to hit the spacebar 30 times to continue? I don't know that that's how the conversation went, but it could have been. They've done it based on console players again, but I don't hate it. I mean, I've been guilty of saying that. And I think we do have to be a little bit careful because we haven't actually seen the console version yet. And before we go too down there, they've built it for console. If we get details of the console and it is exactly the same, we can be like, okay, yeah, we were right. They have literally designed it for console and tried to port it to PC, and that's why it doesn't work. But imagine after we've all spent a week saying that, longer for people like me. I was saying that a month ago when we got the first screenshots. Imagine if they release screenshots of console this week and it's a completely different look. And it's like, I mean, well, we've made ourselves look silly, haven't we? Imagine if it's not the same. Kirian Wilson, thank you very much for the super chat. And they say, honestly, I think the new UI is great. There's a few bugs and it's a little clunky, but overall I like it. Had a couple of fatal errors that seem to have been fixed by the new hotfix. Yeah, I completely agree. You've summed that up perfectly. I like the new UI. There are a few bugs, but they're slowly getting fixed. Yes, it's a bit clunky in places. Some of that will be fixed and some of it will feel less as we get used to it. But on the whole, I do quite like it. I really like what they've done to the match engine. I quite like the changes to the UI. I just wish it wasn't as clunky. In an ideal world, would we have had a year where we got this match engine on the old UI and transitioned a little slower? Yeah, that would have been lovely. But before everyone's like, I wish they'd have done that. Remember, they couldn't have done that. In order to do that, they would have had to have rebuilt the whole UI in full in Unity. Because the reason the match engine looks this good is because they've done it in Unity. So they couldn't have done this in that. So to get this, they had to redo the UI. And I mean, if we were sat in a meeting with them 2 years ago when they were planning this game and they were like, right, we've got to completely rebuild the game from scratch. Should we just change the match engine and leave everything else the same? Or should we try and improve everything? Without knowing where we ended up, would you have said, leave everything the same? Or would you have said, try and improve everything? And I guess they didn't quite get to the end of try and improve everything. And some of it, you won't agree with the improvements, but they're trying. And it all seems like it's moving in the right direction. I think you'd have all been furious if they'd have just released this match engine after 2 years and left the UI as it was. I think there is an element of there's not. Some people are, as much as I've said several times, you can't please everybody. I also think there's an element of, and there's some people, no matter what you do, they will not be happy because they just want to complain. And there is elements of that in this as well. Heads or tails, and if it lands on heads, you buy me FM26. What are you going to get me if it lands on tails? And then I'll toss a coin. This needs to be a fair situation. If it lands on tails, are you going to do 10 gifted subs? It's all gone quiet over there. Right, we need a new tactic. I'm actually thinking, based on the squad that we've got, we need a 2-striker system. Our bench is full of strikers. We've got strikers playing in midfield. We've got another striker we're not even brought on because we've got 4 strikers on the pitch. These 4 are all strikers. We've got another one sat on the bench. The window closes in like a day. We've not got time to completely rebuild the squad. So I think we need to rebuild the tactic to accommodate 2 strikers. We've lost 5 matches in a row. We're doing a 2-striker system. So, in fact, there you go. We've got to anyway. It still exists. We are unwilling. You don't get it as an email anymore. It appears as a news item that I am unwilling to experiment. I don't know how to get back to it. But we are going to experiment. It's still there. Can I show my squad view again? Yes, there it is. Imagine you missed that email. It wasn't an email. It was front and center in the middle of the screen. There's no missing that. Right, how do you get to tactics? I've got it up here. That's right. I've got it up here. Right, so we can add a second tactic. Create new tactic. We're going to do a wing play again. But we are going to go to a 4-2-4. And we're going to get 2 strikers up there. And then out of possession, we're going to drop to that. So, I mean, I think that's just the wingers dropping back a little bit. So that works for me. And then if we pick our best 11 and then get them in good roles and then have a look at what that does to where they live on the pitch. We still want plenty of players out wide to get the crosses in. Yeah, this is more like it, I think. Forget having all those midfielders. When we've got the ball in these areas, I guess the centre-backs are going to have it because we've not got any midfielders. Collins, as box-to-box midfielders, legged it. And then out of possession. Yeah, just a good old 4-4 flip into. Lovely stuff. Right. When's our next game? Virtue Trophy. Ideal for some experimentation. Plus, we've got the transfer deadline before then as well. How are we doing in the league table? How do we get to the league table from here? Oh, it would normally be here, but it's showing Virtue Trophy. So we have got the competitions tab, so we can go through that. Oh, God. Okay, to be fair, not as bad as it is in real life. So still outperforming Fergie. And that's the important thing. Please never adjust the row size for recent form on your squad screen. Huh? Why? What do you mean? Is this what you're telling me? Don't adjust it. Why? I feel like I've missed the gag. Just seeing how low viewing numbers are on people's streams on FM26 is worrying. Are view numbers low? I don't know that they are they? I mean, I've got 600 people watching on YouTube. So, how many are on Twitch at the moment? Bearing in mind, my historical Twitch average is about 300. So my streams normally get about 300. And we've got 800 watching on Twitch currently and another 600 on YouTube. So we've got 1,400 people watching. That doesn't feel low to me. That feels like one of my biggest streams ever. Because I think what's actually happened is a lot of people have gone to dual streaming for FM26. So maybe some of the Twitch numbers look a little bit lower, but that's because they're on YouTube as well. So some people are choosing to watch on YouTube. So that's probably why that's happening. More than the average non-league crowd. How do I insert the squad view? Once you've downloaded it, I'm assuming you've downloaded it, go to your squad page, and then where you've got this little row of titles, right click on that and then import view. And then import your view from there. So yeah, easy peasy. You just have to make sure you put it in the right folder before you can import it. Your squad view on 1080 cuts off the position boxes on the very left. I mean, you can adjust the sizes. What I would recommend, don't auto size. Goodness, I spent ages yesterday morning getting this perfect. And then because it's what I always would have done on FM24, I was like, I think it's perfect, but just to be sure, I'll just auto size. And it's all squashed over to the left-hand side of the screen. It was a disaster. So do not auto size it. But these are all tweakable. I mean, none of this is permanently positioned. If it doesn't fit right on your monitor, you can remove any columns that you don't think you need. You could quite poo. Is that what people were talking about? Okay, now I see what you mean. Their morale is quite poo. Fairly, I see it now. I love it. Yeah, okay. Morale is quite poo. Goodness me. I mean, I feel like something needs to be done. Oh, that's going on Twitter. Oh, right. We need a witty caption. How are you finding the FM26 beta? Boom. Goodness me. That's great, though. I love that. Darren Mullaney, thank you for the super chat. I could not find FC United, which I was going for on non-league to Prem. Are they in the playable leagues? Or are they below the playable leagues? FC United. Do they not exist anymore? FC United of Manchester. Oh, there you go. So you have to keep typing. What me and Matt discovered yesterday is the green versions of clubs are the women's teams. So that's men's and women's, white and green. But yeah, FC United are in, but I don't think they're in the playable leagues, are they? Yeah, that's why. Mr. Teeny, thank you very much for 26 months. Very much appreciated. I see not being able to register Champions League players in January already has a post. Guess I'll just hit, notice this too reply. I mean, I've been able to with Arsenal. So that's weird. Right. This is something I'm a little bit sad about. And I guess it was just a case of not having time to rebuild it and hopefully it'll be back because I think it was a nice feature. But we don't have all the shenanigans on transfer deadline day. we've gone back 3 versions of FM, like FM 21, 22, whatever it was. We didn't have the transfer deadline day shenanigans. They're gone again. So we know it's transfer deadline day, but no shenanigans. I love shenanigans. You know, I'm all about the shenanigans as a general rule. Yeah. Everywhere's like being in Argentina. Oh, look at that. I'm hand not on mouse, but can go through with a button that's right near the mouse, or you can just look at tasks and make sure that you do your tasks. There you go. Squad registerized. We're not doing any deadline day business. We've spent £5 million already. Yes, we've got another 2 million to spend, but I mean, I say I'm not going to do any business. I don't think we need to. I think we're pretty good. Pretty decent depth in all the important positions. I think we just need to win some football matches. Kieran Wilson, thank you for the super chat. Little disappointed manager shouts are gone. I've had a lot of people say they're a bit disappointed they're gone. I do get it. It gave you the feeling that you were doing something during a match. I do question whether you were actually making any difference. I've long thought they don't actually do anything. And in fact, for my first multiple years on YouTube, I never did them. Same as Team Talks, never did them. And only started doing them because I was bullied into it, because people felt I was being too passive when I was playing. Spoilers, the in-betweeny bits, never once clicked a shout. Ever. Never, ever, ever clicked a shout, because I just didn't see the point. And also grew up playing versions of the game that didn't even have a 2D match engine, never mind a 3D one, and never mind touchline shouts. So it's not something I feel is like core to playing the game. But I guess if you have come to it in the last however many years and they've always been there and you feel like they're an important part and they make you feel more involved, I do get that it would be nice to have them back, and you'd think it would be an easy thing for them to put in. But I think when they originally announced it was being removed, didn't Miles say that, I mean, he kind of said without saying that they didn't really do anything. And when they come back, they're actually going to work. I think were the words he used, basically. We are planning on bringing them back, and when they do come back, they'll actually work this time, or words to that effect. So I think the idea is to bring them back, and when they come back, they might actually be important. They didn't work as intended. Was that the phrasing he used? Yeah. Which I think is CEO speak for they were absolute nonsense that didn't do anything. Right, we've got too big a squad. Those 3 players aren't even registered. Probably should have sold them. Lord Loss, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm starting a save in the UAE Pro League with the aim to win the AFC Pro League. What tactics do you recommend when managing with less technical players? I mean, it is a little early in FM26 to know if my answer is actually particularly valid. But traditionally, in Football Manager, with less technical players, I like wing play. It's what I'm using here with Peterborough. So, I mean, it's not working. So it's not great recommendation at the moment because we've lost 5 games in a row and we're now trying a different tactic with wing play. But I am learning the game. I'm doing quite well with Arsenal in the Premier League. This is my first save outside of the Premier League, and it is proving to be a little bit harder. So, yeah, watch this space, I guess, is my answer to that. I am going to try and have a plan before Non-League to Legend starts next week. Do you know how to do the director of football suggest transfer targets looking for frees in lower leagues? It's not in there. That's gone. That has been replaced by the new transfer room thing that takes a little bit longer to go through. So, yeah, it's gone. And again, it's not it's missing, it's broken thing. It's deliberately being removed because it's completely unrealistic that it was ever there. You can still go to player search and get a list of players who are available for free transfer, like you can in real life. What you can no longer get is a curated list of 3 players for each position who are available for free and will improve your squad, and you can just take 30 players in on trial and cherry pick the best ones, because it was nonsense and we shouldn't have ever been able to do it. Yes, it was fun, but it was unrealistic nonsense. It never should have been allowed in non-league to legend. I am a fraud. And yeah, it's gone. And we'll have to figure out a new way to get our free transfers in. And we will. It will be part of the fun of the early seasons of non-league to legend this year. Kieran Wilson, thank you for the super chat. My major criticism is SI chasing licenses over expansion. Like, why Egypt over Saudi? Only answer is licenses. I mean, it's a pretty good answer. If they can if they've got the license in Egypt, it makes sense to add the Egyptian League rather than it would be bonkers if the Egyptian League is available. It would be bonkers to be like, actually, you know what? We're not going to bother. We're going to have the Saudi League instead. Oh, you got the license for that as well? Nah. I don't know why Saudi's not in, but I don't know. I think it's we're at risk of the same kind of twisted logic of, I can't believe they've removed international football to add women's football. Well, they haven't. They've added women's football and they've removed international football, but one of those things didn't cause the other thing. And adding the Egyptian leagues is not a bad thing. I don't know why they've not added the Saudi league. There might be reasons. Who knows? Watto, I will do a posture check and a hydrate. Where do we download the squad view? There's a link on Twitter. There's a link in the episode 4 of the Arsenal Let's Play on the main channel. So yeah, either of those 2 places. I agree we need a 1.5 speed in the match engine. Yeah, I've asked for it. We have a creator Discord that some of the SI staff are in, and I asked for it yesterday and they said they were going to look into it. Whether that means they're going to add it or I don't know. But they are aware it's been asked for. It's been added to their list of requests. For all I know, there could be even more requests for whatever you do, never add 1.5 times speed. So just because it's been asked for doesn't mean it's definitely coming, but it has been asked for. It is in as a request. I suspect they've probably got more pressing issues at the moment, like fixing bugs. So it might not be something that is in there tomorrow. And I think if they was to say to me, Kev, do you want us to put all our efforts on this 1.5 speed at the expense of doing some bugs? I'd probably let them get crack on with the bugs for a little while. Maybe. It's that guy Main. Thank you very much for the 4 months. Whilst it's relatively trivial, not having the 1.5 match speed is kind of symbolic of the lack of QA they did. I mean, is it though? Or again, is it just a case of different people having different preferences? Because one of the things I suggested was just bin off 1.25 and give us 1.5. 1.25 is too slow. And several members of SI staff were like, I like 1.25. That's what I play on. 1.25 is my favourite speed. So there is a group of people out there who prefer 1.25 and will probably think 1.5 is too fast. I think we can all agree 1.75 is too fast. And I don't know why some of the really fast speeds are on there. Like, we can go up to, like, who's playing on 10 times speed? Or 4 times speed is a weird one. I can understand 10 times speed, you just want to get through matches. But who's playing on 4 times speed? Yeah, on the in-betweeny bits, I'm either using the instant result button or 1.75 speed. I've not played a single match on 1.25 off camera and would not plan to. Ever. It's too slow for me. I'm with Tom FM. I'd like something between 1 and 1.25. That's because Tom's brain don't work too fast. That's why he wants that. He can't keep up, bless him. It's fine. Instant result, all the credit goes to the assistant manager. I don't think it does it? Does it? I don't know. If that's the case, I'll stop using it. I know on the and I'll register that as a request as well if it does. But I love the instant result button is a phenomenal new feature that I am in love with. I think it's fantastic and we've needed it forever. So I love the fact that it's there. But if it does give all the credit to the assistant manager, that's not ideal. I like to get credit for things, you see. Right. I'm bringing Lindgren on. He's one of the strikers who we just weren't able to fit into the other system. So he can come on. We're actually winning a football match here. Oh, no, that's not what I was trying to do at all. I was trying to bring him on for Flint. Where is he? I can't find him. There he is. It doesn't give the credit to the assistant manager. That's fine then. Holiday gives credit to the assistant. Instant result doesn't. Am I experienced severe lagging during match highlights? I am not, no. Oh, that's annoying. Everything was going so well. Making loan offers is broken. Can't see the drop downs for clauses. We're out of the transfer window now. Remind me of that when we get to January and we'll have a look. I've not done any loans yet. I've certainly not done an incoming loan. I've loaned players out. But I don't think I've taken anyone on loan yet. So that's something I've not tested. Portal overview agent offers is the same as deadline day. In case anyone wants it. Is it? That's interesting. Oh, we're now losing. What's going on? I'm getting battered by Tottenham. I want to give the credit to the assistant, please. Yeah, exactly. I don't like the idea of instant result if it gives credit to you. You literally don't control the game. I mean, I control the game as much as... Literally all it's taking away is me doing the substitutions. I'm never going to sit here tweaking tactics in the middle of a match. So I am all for getting credit, please. I love credit for things, especially things I didn't work very hard on. That's my favourite way to get credit. You're in League One and you've not got a loan in. FM26 must be broken. I had a £5 million transfer budget. I've still got 2 million left and the window's closed. I didn't need to loan anybody because we've got loads of money to spend. Have I been FM'd yet? Yes. Lots. In a YouTube video yesterday. Was yesterday the... What is going on? Our goalkeeper is rotten. They've had like 3 shots. I wish I had some match stats, then I'd know. But it feels like they've had 3 shots and scored 3 goals. After we were so good at the start of the season. Where are the fans? It's their fault. They're going to score again. We do not deserve. This has not been a lose 4-1 at home performance. I don't understand. I am absolutely baffled as to what's just happened. Click the match stats. If I could, I would, but they do not seem to exist. Can we get at them any other way? Because it is something of a problem not having match stats at all. Okay, fair enough. Okay. All right. Fair enough then. I guess we were just rubbish. And I don't really know what to do about it. Right, let's start shouting at idiots. Oh, I don't want to set him a target. Just leave. Leave! No, leave. I don't want to set you a target. That's fine. Everything's good as it is. Need to grind out a draw. I mean, if you are proposing, even in jest, that I do anything other than attack in my next game, I am horrified at your cowardice. I restarted my FM save and the match stats appeared. What, as in you started a new save, or you just restarted the game? Because the game's been closed multiple times. The game was closed 3 minutes before the stream. Can you select multiple players by dragging? I'm not sure what that means. What do you mean, multiple players by dragging? Dragging what? I don't know if that's something I ever did in the old game. Try using tactic evolutions. I heard someone mention this tactic evolution thing. Right, tactics evolution. There's no advice available at this time. Sigh. Click and drag. But what do you mean click and... How would I select multiple people? What, like you would in Excel, where you click and drag? Could you do that in FM24? If that's something you've ever been able to do in Football Manager, that is another thing that I don't miss, because I have never, ever done it. Now I might understand a little bit more why people are getting upset that they can't do that. I've always just done that with shift. Just hold shift down, click top, click bottom. I had absolutely no idea that it was ever an option to just drag over all of them. There you go. It's another thing I just don't care that it's gone, because I never knew it was in. I've been sacked for the first time in years. Good news is you can't just plug in a Gegenpress system and win it. Yeah, I mean, I might get sacked in this save. We have lost a lot of football matches. Can't believe we were top of the league after 2 games. I didn't know you could do it with shift, always dragged. That's fascinating. It just wouldn't occur to me to try dragging it. Oh yeah, I'll get sacked in non-league to legend this year. I'm certain of it. I mean, I have been sacked in non-league to legend before as well. It's not something that's never happened, but it's not happened for a long time, because and it's one of the reasons why it's quite nice for the game to have been just turned on its head, because FM24 was so easy. Because I just knew what the right thing to do was in every circumstance. Whereas for the first time in 6-7 years playing Football Manager, I'm sat here looking at this run of form, and I have absolutely no idea what to do to fix it. I don't know. We're gonna try and use our 4-4-2 again that we used in the last game. That game didn't take a turn until we made subs. So maybe don't make subs. Maybe we take some of this tactical advice. We're not gonna. But yeah, I might get sacked. 3 at the back's allegedly quite good this year. I mean, it might be, but I'm no coward. I'm not gonna resort to being a coward, I'm afraid. What do I think of Fergie out? I'm a PUFC fan myself. On which stand can I find you? So I usually want you to sign my shirt. I've not been to a match this season. I don't live in Peterborough anymore. So I was a season ticket holder for like 25 years. But yeah, I don't go anymore. I mean, I maybe go to a couple of matches a season, but I just watch from my McDonald's in Bourne, Massachusetts now on the internet. I've watched more Posh matches since I've not been in Peterborough than I ever did when I lived there. Even though I'd watch every home game, I now watch pretty much every game. Yeah, I only go to Wembley. The last 2 Posh matches I've been to were both at Wembley. You're not old enough to have been a season ticket holder for 25 years. I'm 43. I was a season ticket holder from age 7 for 25 years. Why are my right wingers' stats white? Where am I looking? What's better, creating your own tactics, using a preset, or downloading tactics? There is no better. Do whichever one you prefer. Are there even tactics to download yet for 25, 26, whatever this game is? This should be a team that's good enough to win. This is a good 11. Who are we playing? Wycombe. We're on positive. We're going to win this match. I've decided. No! We've not got enough substitutions selected. How can I win more often? Score more goals than your opposition. I'm learning the game with you at the moment. If you are finding the game really hard, based on my experience with the 2 saves that I've done, if you are finding the game really hard, maybe while you're learning it, go and manage a better team. Because I'm finding the game, oh crumbs, I haven't saved all evening. I've got the rolling 5-year save on. Someone's just said that, oh God, my PC died on Friday. I've just seen that and now I'm going to live in fear throughout this match. Because we have not saved yet. We've been streaming for an hour on this beta and I have not saved all evening. This is the terrifying territory. Instant result. It's possibly not a bad idea. But I want to see the team do a football. Definitely save right now. I can't save in a match. Do I just instant result out of this and then save? Or are we at risk of crashing the game by instant resulting mid-match? Because I've not tried to do that yet. I do normally have autosave on, but I was simulating immediately before the stream. So I have it on every 5 years autosave so it doesn't fill my hard drive. Because I've holidayed like 400 years into the future and I haven't switched it back to weekly autosave. 5 years, are you mad? It's simulated 400 years into the future and not crashed once. Every 5 years is plenty. I would argue, based on that, I only need a save point every 100 years. If I could set it to just save every 100 years, I would. But every 5, I think, is the longest gap you can have. Yeah, we just need to hope we don't crash. If we crash now and lose an hour's progress, we're just going to instant result through the matches that we've already played. And we get back to this point fairly quickly anyway. We'll maybe switch to this tactic a little bit sooner if it works. Turn the results around. But please remind me immediately after this match to save and then turn autosave back on to weekly. Because we are very much tempting fate here. If you keep going, don't use your last sub. Been soft locked twice as if your player gets injured after you've used all of your subs. You can't go to 10 men and finish. Interesting. Why don't you put it on every 60 minutes when simulating? Because I want the save points every 5 years so that I'm guaranteed to get a save point at the 100-year mark. Because I want to be able to go back in and show it 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. So if I have it done by time, I might have a save point after 97 seasons and a save point after 120 seasons, but not that 100 season point. So by doing it every 5 years, it means that I'm guaranteed to get the save points I actually want. The game doesn't feel very responsive and snappy. Is that my PC or just the beta? It's kind of a known thing, I think. It's certainly not just your PC. I can't promise you it's just because it's a beta. It might just be how this UI is at the moment. Or it might be bugs. I don't know. We'll see. The game editor's not available yet, no. Full release, that'll be available. How many years of playing non-league does it take before you get rich enough to make some real transfers? I mean, you won't be able to in non-league. You need to move up the leagues to get decent money in. I usually, and again, this is all based on previous FMs. I don't know if it's going to be the same in 26, but usually I don't start spending money on transfers in non-league Legends until the Championship. But I'm in League One in this save, and we've spent £5 million, so maybe League One is the new spendy. Blame Birmingham and Jay Stansfield for League One now being a league that you spend millions in. I use Tottenham and can't seem to win any matches. What should I do to win more? Manage someone good. Yeah, the mistake you've made. The challenge is too high managing Tottenham. See if you can get a good team and try and manage them. Try managing Arsenal or Liverpool. Kieran Wilson, thank you for the super chat. Wigan kebab plus Kev stream is good night vibes. What is a Wigan kebab? How does that differ from a normal kebab? Is the Wigan kebab the pie in a bread roll? Is that what a Wigan kebab is? Or am I thinking of something else? That's a Wigan slappy. Interesting. Is your schedule on the squad view is up. The default schedule is very similar to the one I had before. I haven't set up a custom schedule yet. I don't think we need one. I think the default one is my old one. I think they've stolen it from me. My lawyers will be in touch. But yeah, my squad view, there's a link to it on Twitter. There's a link to it on yesterday's YouTube video. I can't see any way to upload to Steam Workshop yet, so I've not been able to put it on there. But it will hit there as soon as I can figure out how to upload to it. You used to be able to do it from within the game, and it doesn't seem to be within the game as an option currently. I don't know if that's just because it's in a beta, or if they've taken the functionality out for some reason, or yeah, if anyone knows how to upload to Steam Workshop, let me know. Oh, the Steam Workshop's only open from the 4th of November. There we go. So yeah, 4th of November, I'll upload it to Steam Workshop. But yeah, you can add it in the meantime using... In fact, now you say it has always been like that, because I always have a download link for the first couple of weeks. So it's the same situation. I don't really want to make any more substitutions. We've only got Dross on the bench now. I think we're just going to try and see the game out as is. Are they going to be putting cup drawers in at any point? I don't know. I'm not a developer. Maybe they've decided nobody uses them. Again, cup drawers are another of those things that I don't care that they're gone. I know some people seem really miffed by it, but maybe their data shows them that most people do exactly what I do, which was when they got those cup drawers in their inbox, they just click skip draw. Maybe that's the standard thing. Maybe everyone skips draws. And they were like, well, then what's the point in them being in there? What's the point in us spending time rebuilding this thing that 95% of players skip? Or maybe it's on the to-do list and wasn't seen as a high priority for 26. Who knows? But yeah, I don't ever watch the draws. Haven't done for years. Yeah, okay, to be fair, when you're in non-league and you're trying to get an away fixture against a Premier League team, they are quite fun then. So I'll let you have that. They are fun in that circumstance. The 60 FPS cap will be changed for full release. Again, I don't know. I would think probably not. I don't really understand FPS as a concept. I'm blind to it. It upsets Matt whenever he's here. And I try and convince him that FPS isn't even real. And he pretends he can see it. I don't know. There we go. We have changed our tactic and won a football match for the first time in forever. What are we supposed to do now? Save the game. And then take it off of saves automatically every 5 years to something a little bit more beta friendly every week on a 3-file rolling autosave, please. Goodness me. There you go. Let's praise his performance. Do you think they'll let us choose youth team lineups in FM26? You've unlocked another of the things I didn't know we could do before, and I would never need to try and do. Are you telling me in previous versions of Football Manager you could pick the youth team lineup? Because I am learning so much about how it took people so long to get through seasons just by hearing the things that people are complaining about being missing. You can pick the under 21 and under 18 lineups. What, in 26 or in 24? I just don't know why you'd want to, but I mean, yeah, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I think a lot of things you think you didn't do are just things you clicked past in your inbox previously. Yeah, so I didn't do them. It's not me thinking I didn't do them. I definitely didn't do them. They might have been in the inbox, but if I'm not reading or interacting with the message, that's not me. That's me not doing it. How do you think I can improve my tactics to win more? Should I change tactic? Just practice and try different things. I mean, without seeing your save, it's impossible to be able to answer that. Use a basic preset tactic and keep tweaking it until it starts to work. Gazboy95, thank you very much for the Prime. It's a shame you can't adjust coaching badges to teams level at the start of the save. Yeah, that was a nice little quality of life thing that it would be nice for them to bring back. I do like that. Because I don't know if I've set my manager to the right level in this save. We just had a bit of a guess, didn't we? Right, give me an actual bench of footballers, please. Is that too much to ask? Don't change tactics too often. Yeah. Pick a tactic, play it for 3 or 4 matches, and if it's still not working after 3 or 4 matches, try a different tactic. How long am I going to keep streaming for tonight? Probably till around 10-ish. Around 10-ish is a usual stop time for me. I've got a video to edit before I go to bed to come out tomorrow morning. So sometimes around 10. How you have 2 lineups? I tried. Do you mean 2 tactics? Or is this that saving your team selection thing again that apparently people used to do? Because if you're trying to save a team selection, you can't do that in 26. I never did in 24. Didn't know you could until everyone was upset that it's gone. If you mean 2 tactics, I can show you that before the next match. I loved saving the team selection. It seems a lot of people did. There's certainly a lot of the hardcore who are on Twitter and Reddit and watching YouTube videos and streams seem to be really into that. I can only assume, because SI have removed it, that the majority of players probably didn't ever do it. Like your old pal Kev. Up the casuals. Up the bleeping casuals. Us casuals didn't know it was there, so they've taken it out. They're pandering to the casuals. Dumbing it down for buffoons like me. About time too. Your first lineup is for starters, second one is for subs and role plays. Yeah, I have never in 30 plus years of playing Football Manager, I've never once done that. Never once done that. I don't remember the last time I picked my own 11. For as long as Quick Pick has been there, I've quick picked and tweaked from there. I don't remember the last time I picked a team from scratch. I quick pick and tweak. It's so much quicker. Am I going to be doing how-to videos? Yes. Yeah, tutorials will be starting this week. I didn't want to start the tutorial straight away because the last thing you want me to do is try and teach you something I don't really understand myself yet. But as I figure elements of the game out, I will start doing tutorials on them. Yes. Am I getting lag between highlights? No. Don't think so. I've not noticed any lag. So it's not very helpful because I can't tell you how to avoid it because I don't remember experiencing it. It might just be that I've got a good PC. Quick pick and tweak is slower. You save the squad once and you just click on it and it's on. I never did it and it's not in the game anymore, so can't lose what you never had. I get that it's probably frustrating for those of you who did it all the time. That's annoying. Here's everyone going on about features in or not in FM26, and here's me patiently waiting for Kev to go house hunting and using the unnamed mortgage calculator. Absolutely. What is a trophy lift? I mean, they weren't in FM24 most of the time. It was very much a dice roll every time you won a trophy, whether you were going to see the trophy lift or not. That's been the case for years. I haven't seen confirmation one way or the other that they're just not in 26. There's every chance they're just as, oh, that's a goal I've never seen before. That's proper non-league. I love that goal. I mean, we're in League One. We're not non-league. But this is lovely. This is FM26. Look at that. Ball over the top. 6'3" striker. Just nudges it over the top of the goalkeeper. I enjoyed that. I had a trophy lift for the German Women's Super Cup. So there are trophy lifts. It's just the same old problem that we've had in FM for 5 years. Sometimes you get a trophy lift, sometimes you don't. Let's focus on the new problems rather than the ones they've had for years. For now. We'll worry about that. We've got by fine without trophy lifts for a long time. We'll be fine for a little bit longer. For goodness sake, don't have them wasting time on that. It's not that important. My word. We need some midfield players. One of my favourite FRFM YouTube saves was a pollen. Yeah, lots of people like to pollen. We might do something like that on 26. Who knows? I guess a lot of it depends on when the World Cup module comes out and how much fun it is. Because if it comes out right at the end of Non-League to Legend, we might just switch into doing something on that. If it doesn't, we might do something like a pollen. Jimmy FM, thank you very much for 27 months. Been away a while. Hope you're doing good, Kev. Random question to add to this. Has anyone scored a penalty yet, or are my team just awful at penalties? Have I even had a penalty yet? Why don't you try Route 1 or counter-attack Brexit football? Because I don't like anything below positive. I'm an attacking manager. I don't like counter-attacking. Route 1, I'll definitely be trying Route 1 in non-league. I don't know. I think this team is too good for Route 1. We're now winning matches. We don't need Route 1. But yeah, Route 1 is definitely something that I often use in non-league. Do you think the UI will be the same on console? I mean, it would be very, very surprising if it was massively different. Bearing in mind, one of the big criticisms everyone's got is it looks like it was built for console. But imagine if it was different. I mean, no one's seen console yet. I haven't seen console at all, or mobile, or Apple Arcade. So I don't know. The next gen list is still a thing. Huzzah! Is it just me or does the ball need a shadow? A few people have said about the ball needing a shadow. I think, again, it's probably one of those things that's not the highest priority in the world currently. I can't say as I'm looking at the ball in that much detail, but yeah, looking at it now, really focusing on the ball. Yeah, I guess it probably does. Ben said in chat console was the same earlier, but you missed it. What, Ben as in Dr. Ben? How would he know? How has he seen console? Was Dr. Ben here? How's he seen console? I've not seen console. Why? And I'm the one who's getting called a shill. And he's got the secret hookup, apparently. This is where someone tells me I have seen console and just wasn't paying attention and didn't realise that's what I was being shown. I don't think I've seen console. Can you imagine? Can you imagine they have shown it to me and I just wasn't really paying attention, looked up and it was, oh, it's the same. And I just didn't notice. He just said it was the same when you were talking about looking a fool when it's different from PC. Okay. I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice he was here. And I don't think we know that. Maybe we do. But I don't think anything's been announced for console yet. I guess we'll see. But like I say, I mean, going back to the original part of the answer, I would be really shocked if it didn't look like this, because that then makes it really, really confusing about some of the decisions they've made for the PC UI if it's not been made with console in mind. But yeah, I don't think we've seen console. All my mentoring groups need attention. There you go. They've been attended to. We've got some personality changes. I don't care. Personality schmality. Is there a way to hold a team meeting to fix morale? I mean, I didn't know that you could do it without being asked in the inbox before. The only time I've ever done team meetings is when my assistant manager has come into the inbox and said, hold a team meeting. And I've not had that happen. So I don't know. I guess if we have a really bad season and it never gets suggested, then probably it's been removed. And thank goodness, because it was dumb. So I'm glad it's been removed. Because it was terrifying. You'd be in a good run of form. You'd get 2 matches away from winning the league and they'd be there in your inbox. Hold a team meeting. And then you'd mess up morale and it would all get derailed. So if it's gone, I'm happy. Just a heads up, you got to go to your hated player database screen to see all the players scouted. There's a show only scouted players button. I have had a little look in here. I think this is fine. I don't think I need to go beyond the recommended players. I think this is fine. I don't think I need to go in here. Oh, okay. You know what? I don't mind that. That, boys and girls, is what's known as a lovely new feature. That's quite cool. So I can just leave that on permanently. I did wonder why we'd had so few scout reports in when I was doing the transfer window for the Arsenal series, and we only had like 16 scout reports. I was like, it's January. We've got a massive team of scouts that have been working all year, and we've only got 16 scout reports. What's that all about? Because I guess this is the most recent ones, and then they go in here where we've got 176 that have actually been scouted. That's quite cool. I quite like that. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. That's cool. Okay, see, we're learning together. This is why I'm not doing tutorials yet. Recommended players is each week's scouting meeting. Okay. It's not gone. I'm in a title chase with Schalke. Just held the team meeting. Okay, so it's still in there. There you go. See, this is why it's good for us all to be here as a lovely group, sharing what we're finding out in the game, so I can regurgitate it as a YouTube video in a few days. It's a group project. I hated the forced team meeting, but it was good to do it by choice. I don't think I ever did it. I mean, I don't know if you can do it by choice. I don't know that I ever did do it by choice. Where would it be? It would be in Dynamics if it existed. I assume, would it be? Squad feedback. Actually, you know what we should do? Meeting. Got a staff meeting. I don't think I've had a staff meeting. That stupid staff meeting that used to come up in the inbox is gone. Or at least changed shape, I guess. Grambo, thank you very much for the gifted sub. And Cruzy Lee, thank you very much for 2 months. Wonderful stuff. And Conhouse done 44 months. How are you finding the beta? I'm enjoying it on the whole. It's a little clunky in places, as we've all found. But on the whole, I am enjoying it. I'm getting into my flow. I'm playing matches. I'm having a nice time. We might actually have a tactic that works here as well. Can we get some tactics evaluation now? No. Have we just not got the staff for that? Is that why we're not getting that? Because I think it was Guido Merry. Is that his name? The blogger guy. I think he put on Twitter that he showed it being used and it looked quite powerful. But I've not got it. How do I set bookmarks? Ask me that question again after this match because you can't do it in match. But it is super easy to do, and I can show you how to do that. But not in match. So after the match, I'll show you that. People need to stop saying they've been removed, that they've removed XY, and start saying it's not been added to the new engine yet. I mean, to be fair, there's some stuff that's probably not going to make it in this year's game at all. So I think it is fair to say something like Shouts has been removed because I'm pretty sure SI have come out and said Shouts isn't going to be back in 26. It might be back for 27 or 28, but I think it's acceptable language to say they've removed Shouts. I think that's okay. About to purchase. We'll use your code. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Topher's had his first crash. Agent offers. Clicking on recommendation has caused an app error. Well, there we go. Like I said, 5 years from now, we'll finally have FM24 functionality back. Well, the thing is, we've all been saying that for 2 or 3 years anyway. And now we're at that point and suddenly people are acting like it's a big surprise. Have we not just been delivered what we were expecting? A really stripped down but prettier looking version of the game that's not as good as 24, but definitely looks like it's got potential to become better over the course of 2 or 3 years. I'm fairly sure if you go back and look at videos from 2 or 3 years ago where we talked about the move to Unity when it was first announced, I think we were warning then that that's how it would happen. The first game on Unity was never going to be as good as the last game on the old engine. And I think anyone who was expecting it to be better just needs a little bit of a reality check. Because they've completely rebuilt it. That would be like, I mean, I play a lot of Civilization and you get it every time they move to a new numbered civ. Like you go from 4 to 5 or whatever it would be. And everyone's like, oh my God, Civ 5's awful. So much of the stuff that was in Civ 4 has been removed. Yeah, because it's a completely new game. And all that Civ 4 had like 4 years worth of expansion packs on it. That a lot of that stuff will be added back in as they build on the new game, but it's a completely newly built game that will be added to in time. FM24 had been basically added to for 20 years. It was FM 2005 with 20 expansion packs on. And now we've got FM2, first version of, so it's stripped right back, and I think that's what we were expecting. It's what I was expecting. New Civ's actually pretty bad. I've seen a lot of people say that. I quite like it. I've not played a huge amount, but I do quite like it. Woodsy, thank you very much for the 10 months. People just expect to have everything just finished all at once. So that's not how it works, though, is it? How dare the consumer have any expectations? Have expectations, but if your expectations are unrealistic, then it doesn't give you the right to be angry about them not being met. I expect FM27 to cure cancer. And if it doesn't, I am going to be angry I mean, it's fine to have expectations, but maybe have sensible expectations. Yombrero, thank you very much for the sub. Managed to finish Pokemon before the beta came out. No, I've only played like 5 hours of Pokemon. Bit clunky, isn't it? I'm part of the problem. I watched, who's the Australian guy with the long hair? I can't remember his name. Beat 'em Ups. His Pokemon review was fantastic. I say the review was fantastic. I only watched the first 3 minutes because I was cooking dinner and then dinner was ready. But it was basically 3 minutes of him on a green screen, walking around this deserted, empty world, knocking on doors that didn't open and asking why nobody was here and nothing was moving. It was phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, I will finish Pokemon. I just haven't got time at the moment. I've not made a Lego video for 3 days. I'm so busy. Have you seen the amount of Football Manager videos I've made? But yeah, I'll get Pokemon done before the end of the year. We've got our usual end of the launch period, lock ourselves away in the woods at the end of December, just before Christmas. So that's my week normally where I get caught up on the games that came out in silly season. I take my Steam Deck and my Switch, and Anna's got one of those suitcases that the footballers have that you can put a PS5 in. So we basically pack up all our games consoles and go and head to a cabin in the woods and just play a bunch of games in front of a log fire. And it's great. And it's a great way to like reset after the absolute madness that is the Football Manager launch. So that's when I'll play Pokemon. I need to play that Expedition 33. I haven't played that yet either. That's been sat on my Steam Deck since it came out. It's been a busy year. Can I remember what Anna looks like? I saw her yesterday. I literally have seen her for like 2 minutes today because I've been in London all day. She was asleep when I left this morning. I got back from London at about 6 o'clock. She'd already eaten. So I had a pork pie that I bought at the petrol station as my dinner. That's all I've had for dinner. Pork pie that I got from the petrol station. And I came in here and dumped all my footage that I filmed at Comic-Con so that I could edit that after the stream and then started streaming. So yeah, I saw her for the 2 minutes it took me to hand her a Borderlands colouring book that I bought from Comic-Con. But yeah, it's busy. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. I love this time of year. This is what I thrive on. Have I played any of the new Battlefield? No. To be honest, I don't really play shooters anymore. I'm a bit too old. My reactions were always a bit slow. I was always a bit bad at shooters. But it's got worse as I've got older. And I can't do it. I think the last shooter I played a lot of, I mean, it was probably going back quite a long way. One of the Gears of War games, maybe. Maybe Halo something or other. I don't think I've really played it. I played a bit of Fortnite when that was really hot, but never actually won a game of Fortnite. And that kind of put me off shooters for life then. I've just made my peace with the fact I'm not good enough to play them online. And there's no point playing them offline. So, yeah, I don't do shooters anymore. I did used to like Battlefield way back when, though. I always preferred Battlefield to Call of Duty. Battlefield 3 on Xbox 360, I played a lot of. Non-League to Legend is going to be epic. Yes, it is. Thought you were going to say GoldenEye and N64. I did love GoldenEye and N64. Loved that game. When people have applied for staff job adverts, is there a way to hover over them to see their stats again? Remember, staff don't have attributes anymore. It's just text. So, I mean, I always automate all that stuff anyway. But I am going to work on the assumption that no, it's not possible to do that because there are no staff attributes anymore. It smells like Anna's cooking something downstairs. Either that or next door getting a new kitchen. Maybe they're cooking in the garden because they've not got a kitchen currently. It smells like someone's like making a stew, but it's 8:30 in the evening. No one's making stew, surely. If Hannah walks in here with a big bowl of stew for me, I'll be quite pleased. Have you seen the Cozy Factory Builder Little Rocket Lab? I have not. Well, that's the first game we've not won since the new tactic, but at least we didn't lose. That's the important thing. Staff don't have... So if staff glitch, they do have attributes, do they? Is that a thing? That's awesome. I think tactics evolution only shows advice when there are holes in your tactic with the roles selected. Otherwise, it says no advice available. Okay. So there is still staff attributes. We just don't... They basically become hidden attributes. Is that what we're saying? I'm paying a technical director. They can do their job and hire the staff for me. Exactly. I mean, I've done that for years in FM. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, firstly, the technical director always ends up hiring me the best staff in the league anyway. I don't remember any Football Manager save where within a year or two of joining a league, I haven't had the best staff in every area in the entire league, just through letting the technical director get on with it. So I don't think it was ever necessary to do it yourself, other than maybe hurrying things along. But what was I going to say? Can't remember. I bet it was going to be good as well. Right, someone asked me to show something before, and I don't remember what it was. What was I showing you? Oh, how to add bookmarks. Super simple. You literally click the drop down and then click them off there. So you can only have 12 selected. So if I unselect that one, you can then just go through this list and just select what you want to be on there. So if you want loads of people are asking where's staff responsibilities, you can literally add it as a bookmark. So you can't bookmark every screen, but any of this stuff you can bookmark. So like you can bookmark youth setup if you want to. Should we have a look at youth setup? I don't even know what that looks like. I've not clicked on that yet. I don't know why you'd want that bookmarked. But yeah, it's that easy. So easy to do. I guess now we know player database is actually more useful than player recommendations then. So we'll add that on. And maybe add shortlists on as well. So now we can go straight to player database, which is automatically toggled to scouting players only. That's probably a better way. I'm still tweaking. I'll get it right. Is there a way to reorder the bookmarks? Frustratingly, you can't drag them. The only way you can do it is to unselect and then select them in the order that you want them. So if I wanted shortlist above transfer room, I would literally have to unselect them all, and then you can select those ones back in again. So it goes on there in the order that you select them. Again, I suspect that's a little quality of life thing that eventually they will add in a way to actually reorder them. But for now, that's your workaround for that. Getting rid of media description on views so we can't easily identify wonder kids or promising players is a smart change. Yeah, didn't know they'd done that. That is a smart change. I am all for them removing stuff that makes the game too easy, that we all abuse. We all abuse it and then complain that it's too easy. So yeah, I am all for them making it so that I can't take in the 30 best trialists in non-league football on the 1st of July. You shouldn't be able to do that. The fact that we could meant that I was always going to because the temptation's too strong. But now we can't. That's a good thing because it will stop the game being so easy. Because we are ridiculous as Football Manager players because we've spent the last 5 years complaining the game is too easy while simultaneously using glitched set pieces, overpowered tactics, scouting the entire next-gen list when it comes through, abusing the director of football recommendations. It's bonkers. Using the scout players only in the player database screen is a massive WOLLUJO. I'm seeing loads of good players in that view that didn't get recommended to me. That's cool. Will there be a network game? Hopefully. I mean, we've done one the last few years, so hopefully. As long as Zealand's not too showbiz for us now. As long as he doesn't want to do one with all of his American EAFC guys instead. But yeah, hopefully. I think for us to do it, it needs to be the four of us who've done it before. I think that recipe is too good to risk changing it too much. Obviously, we've got the league that we did last year. It would be nice to see the league back in some form or another as well. But I think there's room for the league and a network game to both exist. I think that would be cool. We're playing Tom's lot. What is the date? Are we breaking Fergie's record? Oh, we're still only in September. We've still got a way to go. I mean, let's face it, I'm not getting sacked by the 25th of October. So I am officially going to be better than Fergie, I think. It's still on their player profile, but you can't sort a list and media description. Yeah, because before you could go onto the player search screen and add Wonder Kid up here. So you can add media description on here and then literally filter it by Wonder Kid and pick out every Wonder Kid and then send a scout to look at them. So you can't do that anymore. But when you click on a player, it will still have the media description on them. So when you click on them, you'll still know that they're a Wonder Kid. But you can't just go and get all the Wonder Kids in one go on New Gen Day. And that's a positive change. It's frustrating for people who like to min-max the game, I'm sure. But on the whole, that's a positive change. Do you still do the network game with Jack Zealand and Dr. Ben? We just talked about that. Yeah, hopefully we will. We haven't talked about doing it, but I don't see why we wouldn't. Like, we've done it the last couple of years. It's not the sort of thing that we'd do on the beta. Has anyone tested multiplayer yet? Is it even stable? I've not even looked at it. Is the showdown coming back? I mean, it can't at the moment because there's no fantasy draft. So, I mean, in the game's current form, it's not possible to do a streamer showdown in its current form or its previous form because there's no fantasy draft and no versus mode. So you can't set up custom online competitions. You can't do fantasy drafts. You can't just one-on-one someone with your exported team. None of that's in the game at the moment. The only multiplayer is network games currently, as far as I know. So I think the plan is for that stuff to be added back in eventually, whether that's added in during 26 or something that doesn't come until 27 or 28 or whatever it might be. But I assume that for the entirety of, well, maybe not for the entirety of 26, who knows, they might add it, but certainly for now, I love watching that chicken. That's good. Sorry, chicken. But at the moment, you can't do a streamer showdown because there's no fantasy draft and no versus mode. Lots of people saying they've played multiplayer and it works. So that's good news. What about the esports FM World Cup thing? I mean, I don't have any inside information, despite the fact that I was on the broadcast team for it last time and I would like to be again. And they have told me that they would like to use me when they do another one, if they do another one. So I'd like to think I'd be involved, but nothing's been announced yet. Nothing is confirmed yet. So I think I'm able to speculate because, like I say, I don't know anything. So I'm not breaking any agreements or NDAs or anything. But based on working quite closely with them in the past on the previous one, I would expect that when we get the World Cup International Management module next year, logic dictates that you do the FIFA World Cup then using that module. But I don't know. Who knows? How are you feeling content and audience wise for the year with the current sentiment of fans? The majority of fans are happy. I mean, we've been streaming to however many people for however long. There's not been a big swarm of negativity in here. The negative Nellies are ranting on Reddit and Twitter and occasionally commenting in the YouTube videos, but the actual my community who are properly engaging with my content are the same people they've always been, and they're being friendly and positive and nice. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm really enjoying being back making content regularly again. I'm really enjoying being back in the rhythm of a launch period. I've not done this for 2 years. It's fun. It's a huge amount of work. It's tiring, but I love creating content and I love Football Manager. So these 2 or 3 months of the FM launch period, I love that. Not exactly happy though, are we? It's been a shocking release. I mean, the majority are happy. I've shown multiple polls. The Steam discussion for FM26 is super toxic. Yeah, because the only people posting on there are people who don't like the game. Because if you like it, you're not going on the Steam discussion to talk about it. Why would you? Just get on with playing it. The only people discussing it online are the ones who don't like it. It was the whole purpose of the experiment that I did yesterday with the 2 videos. I've got a follow-up video to the 2 videos coming out tomorrow where I basically explain what the experiment was. And the experiment was showing you that negativity gets more of a signal boost than positivity. So I put out, for those of you who don't know, I put out 2 videos at the same time. One was a negative review of FM26. One was a positive review of FM26. And the negative one got twice as many views as a positive one. To prove the point that negativity spreads further and is louder and is shared more and viewed more and pushed more by algorithms. And just because you're seeing more negativity doesn't mean there is more negativity. That's just what's put in front of you by social media. So I think it proved the point quite well. And I've done several polls, and I've not seen a poll yet where more than 20% of the people polled didn't like the game. I got served the negative reviews. Yeah, loads of people have been served the negative review. Very few people have been served the positive review. And I think that tells you everything. There are people being positive about Football Manager on the internet. You're just not seeing it. It doesn't get pushed to you. And that was the whole purpose of those 2 videos. To show that in action. I released 2. I tried my best to make them identical length, identical style of thumbnail and title. I released them at exactly the same time to prove the point that the only difference between the 2 videos is that one was positive, one was negative. And I think one of the negative ones had about 80,000 views. The positive one's not even hit 40,000 yet. And the whole purpose is to demonstrate the point of that's why all you're seeing is negativity, because it's all that gets pushed by platforms. And it's really frustrating as a content creator because you know if you're negative about something, you're guaranteed views. I knew going in the negative one would get more views than the positive one. I didn't realise the difference would be that big. But yeah, a lot of people have only seen the negative one. Well, twice as many people as have seen the positive one have only seen the negative one. Which is ridiculous. But it's the world we are living in currently, where that's what platforms want to push. I do think a lot of people had unreasonable expectations. Personally, I've been enjoying. Yeah, I think some of it is unreasonable expectations. Yeah. Your most viewed videos on all your channels have been negative. Yeah. That's what I said. That's what I mean. I knew what the results would be going in, but show don't tell. I couldn't just say in a video, you're only, I mean, I had tried saying it on Twitter. I'd tried saying to people, you're only seeing just negativity because that's what gets pushed. I'd said it and people didn't believe it. So I decided to prove it, and I've proved it. I'm in the minority that watch both. I mean, maybe the maths is going to let me down here. Half the people watched both, I guess. I doubt there's anyone who watched the positive one who didn't also watch the negative one. So I imagine about 38,000 people have seen both, and another 40-something thousand people have only seen the negative one, would be my guess. As a constructive journalist, it's so frustrating but true. My content, which is positive and constructive most of the time, doesn't get pushed by Google, while the negative content of my colleagues gets pushed, whatever the quality, importance, or whatever. It's horrible. Yeah, it's rubbish. Looks like there's going to be another roundtable coming up. Hopefully I'm allowed on this one. Problem is, me and Ben disagree. And the last time we disagreed, I wasn't allowed on. We did the first one, and I had the opposite point of view to the other three. So they replaced me with Loki for the follow-up one so that they could all agree with each other. People love an echo chamber, don't they? And I suspect I have a different opinion to the three of them again this time. So I'd like to think I'll be involved because I can offer the alternate opinion. We'll see. What's up with him? He's no. Well, let's make him a regular start again then. It's interesting to think about the herd mentality. People no doubt look to creators for a view, and if some of those push out negative reviews for the views and clicks, does it become self-fulfilling prophecy type thing? Yeah, we talked about this a lot around about the launch of 20. Was it 23 or 24 when everyone was really critical? When we did the original roundtable. I can't remember if it was 23 or 24. But it did reach a point where I came out and said, I'm only going to be positive about the game from this point on because I want people to enjoy my videos, and there's only so much you can enjoy watching someone whinge and whine about a computer game. And there's a huge portion of my audience who want to see me have fun and tell fun stories playing Football Manager and having a good time. And you can't do that if you're constantly whinging and moaning about the game. So, yeah, there will come a point where we draw a line under is the game good and just focus on let's make good content with the game. And it doesn't matter if the game is good. The game has only ever been the canvas that we paint our beautiful stories on. Do I want to give Leeds a new contract? I probably do. We're using him a lot. I didn't realise he's only under contract until January anyway. But yeah, there will definitely come a point. I think what I'll probably do, and I've said it on Twitter, I'll say it again here. Once I've played a couple of 100 hours of the full game, I'll do a proper review, give my full thoughts, and then we won't mention whether the game's good or not again until they release that module, whenever that may be. We'll just focus on making content because I don't want to keep beating the is it even good thing, because who cares? It doesn't really, when it comes to enjoying non-League to Legend, it doesn't really matter if the game is good because you don't have to play it. You're watching me play it, and I cut out all the bits that aren't good. You don't see them anyway. You don't see me getting stuck in the menus. You don't see the game crashing because I cut all that out. You're basically just watching transfer summaries and football matches, and I'm telling you stories using them as the backdrop. So the game doesn't need to be good for non-League to Legend to be good. So there isn't going to be any element of my Let's Plays that is discussing whether or not the game is good. Your positivity is why I followed you here from the Lego side. Oh, thank you very much. Boys and girls, I'm just going to quickly nip downstairs and grab another drink because I am out of beverage. I'll be like a minute. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. If you want to fire tofu, you can do that, but don't do anything I wouldn't do. How do I mute my microphone while I do this? Have I got a BRB screen? Oh my word, I've got a BRB screen. Right, did you all fire him? We've got Dr. Pepper Zero this time. Don't know why I'm showing you the can. Focus on the can, camera. They need to see the can. There we go. Right. So we're playing Bolton. Have we picked the team? Don't remember. Our benches are rubbish. Our squad's just not very good. Oh, we've got Bass back. That's an advantage. I'm just going to remove these rascals from here. And because I think it's picking benches wrong. That looks like a much better bench than the one we've been having. I think the game is a bit weird at picking benches. Esbrigo, or Sprigo, Esbrigo, thank you for the 6 months. Dr. Pepper for me is the only zero drink that tastes so bad and nothing like the original. I think it's really nice. I don't like sugary drinks. I mean, I do like normal Dr. Pepper, but I always go for zeros of everything. I like a sugar-free drink. I'm a Diet Coke guy. But yeah, Dr. Pepper Zero is really nice. But yeah, to be fair, it doesn't taste anything like Dr. Pepper, but it's a nice drink in its own right. Yeah, the giveaway winners have been announced. Right, let's do a football. Oh, I see. Oh, maybe we will. Oh, we nearly had a football there. I don't like the taste of fake sugar. Very sad. I don't like the taste of real sugar in drinks anyway. I mean, I obviously like cakes and stuff. But, yeah. Soft drinks. I like the sugar-free ones. Hope this save goes better than my Newcastle United beta save. How are you getting on with Newcastle? Not well, I guess. You can right-click on pick to add and remove players from the bench. Yeah, that's what I was just doing. I tried Coke Zero and hated it. I'm not a huge fan of Coke Zero because to me it tastes too much like normal Coke. I much prefer the taste of Diet Coke. Diet Coke is very much my preferred cola beverage. I was pressing the drop down. Oh, okay. So what? I can right click. I'll try it in a minute. When next match, I'll have a look. Anna's a big Cherry Pepsi Max fan. She loves Cherry Pepsi Max. We've always got that in the fridge. You can get a big pack of 24 of them from Costco for like £7. She's all over the Cherry Pepsi Max. I find Pepsi Max a little bit flat for my tongue, and I don't really like the cherry flavour. And it's not fizzy enough. Liam, thank you for the Prime. Oh, we've gone over 300 subs again for the first time in about 6 months, I imagine. To be fair, most of those 6 months I wasn't streaming. From when I hurt my back in March, I didn't stream very much over the summer at all. So I completely understand why we've not been over 300 subs in that time. But it is nice to be back over 300 subs again. Thank you very much, boys and girls. I'm very much a normal Pepsi Max guy. Normal Pepsi Max would probably be my second behind Diet Coke. So I'd go, I mean, if we're doing a tier list, we'll do the tier list. We're going Diet Coke, Pepsi Max, Coke Zero, Coke, Pepsi. Just as colas. That would be my order. So the two with sugar in are at the very bottom, but Pepsi Max isn't as good as Diet Coke. Diet Coke is the one. Mav, thank you very much for the Prime. Do we not talk about Apple Fanta? We've still got a bottle of Apple Fanta in the fridge. I was so excited because for those of you who don't know, I'm a big Apple Tango guy. Love Apple Tango. Figured I saw Apple Fanta in Sainsbury's. Figured it would be the same thing. Bought 2 big 2-litre bottles of it. So I was like, oh yes, this is my new drink. It was on offer. I'm having some of this. It's horrible. It just tastes like chemical. Can't drink it. It's luminous green and disgusting. How you can take something as delicious as Apple Tango, because like Fanta Orange is better than Orange Tango. So how can Apple Tango be so much better than Apple Fanta? These soft drinks companies do my head in. Heinzie, thank you for 18 months. TK2K, thank you very much for the Prime as well. Been watching you for years. Always top content. Been here since Milan Mission. Wow, that was a long time ago. It's like nearly 10 years since the Milan Mission. That's when I used to give series names. Sensible expectations so they can't keep quality of life stuff after 2 years. What are you talking about, Jack? What are you talking about? I see you've had your little dig in there calling me a yes man. So I'm a yes man because I've got an opinion. Well, I'm saying no to you. So I'm not a yes man. 2 years is nothing for rebuilding a game, by the way. I think we're forgetting that as well. But yeah, if you just come in here to insult me, do one. I promise you, no matter how much you want Football Manager to be good, I want it to be good more than you do. Because it is my autistic special interest. I literally play it every day as like my emotional support activity, and it's how I pay my bills. There are very few people in the universe who want Football Manager to be a great game as much as I want it to be a great game. And I have never had an issue with calling it out when it's not, as I've shown so many times over the years. If you can't trust my opinion on this game, you have not been paying attention. And I quite like it. And I'm allowed to quite like it. Just because you don't, I'm allowed to quite like it. And I do. I miss shouts. Yeah, lots of people do. Like I say, I never did them. So not at all bothered that they're gone. But it does seem to be one of the big things that's bothering a lot of people. Which I do find interesting. Liking games is illegal in 2025. Exactly. I tell you what's illegal. You're allowed to hate it. You're allowed to think it's the best thing ever. The thing that nobody lets you do, and this isn't unique to just games, this seems to be in all walks of life in modern society. Old man rant coming in. You're not allowed to think something's just okay. You have to have a completely polarized and exaggerated opinion on everything. It's all that is valid apparently in 2025, and it's so stupid. I think Football Manager 26 is okay, the top end of okay, bottom end of good, and certainly has the potential to get better. Do you start the save with coaching badges? We had some coaching badges. We're getting thumped here by Bolton. Yikes. I'm not getting sacked. We don't need to worry about getting sacked. Where's the league table? Remember, we're only supposed to finish mid-table. And we are somewhere on there. Don't even know where. 11th. Yeah, so we're actually overperforming our club vision, which is mid-table. So I don't think there's any fear of me being sacked. Football goal. Fergie did get the sack yesterday, yes. Kev, I absolutely love you. You've started that well. Let's continue. Your content and FM. I've attempted to watch every video you do to do with FM community and franchise and other content creators. FM26 is a complete embarrassment. I mean, it's not though. Could it be better? Yes. Is it an embarrassment? No. I simply cannot support the creators that try to hide from or pretend that the game doesn't have major flaws. Beta or not, this game is not complete. I respect that this is your living. Yeah, but it being my living has nothing to do with my opinion on the game. because I've made more money from Lego content this year than Football Manager content. In the nicest possible way, I don't need FM to exist the way I did 2 years ago. I would be fine. If Football Manager never released another game, I would be fine. I've been fine for the last year. I will be fine. So I don't need Football Manager. It's not my living. That's a mistake people are making. Of all the Football Manager content creators, I rely on Football Manager less than any of them because I've got my other channels. So that isn't really part of what is forming my opinion. What I resent from what you've said there is you saying, what was the wording you've used? Creators that try to hide from or pretend like the game doesn't have major flaws. I'm not doing either of those things. And I realise it is difficult to get your head around in 2025, but I just have a different opinion to you. I'm not pretending to have a different opinion. I'm not trying to hide anything. I quite like it. And that's okay. I respect and accept that you don't like it. You should respect and accept that I do like it. And if me liking it when you don't like it means that we can't be friends and you can't watch my content, then that is absolutely fine. Because as previously mentioned, I don't need Football Manager and I don't need you to watch my videos. It would be lovely if you did, but I don't need that. So the actual situation, if we wanted to really delve into this, because I've been called all sorts of things over the last few days, the actual situation is, if I needed Football Manager and if Football Manager was my only way to pay the bills, the sensible business decision for me to make currently would be to pretend that I didn't like the game, because then I would be in agreement with all the loud people on the internet. So what I'm actually doing by giving my honest thoughts and telling you that I quite like it is going against the grain and causing conversations like this to happen. So to summarise, pipe down. And let us have our fun, and you go and shout at somebody else, you rascal. I did sack Topher. Is that him pretending to be me in the chat? Hideous. I respect and accept that entirely. Simply can't watch FM content. And you not watching FM content is absolutely fine. I have no objection to you not watching my videos. Watch what you want to watch. I wouldn't ever want to force anything on anybody they didn't enjoy. But I won't have people call me a liar or a fake or any of these other things. I won't have people saying I'm pretending to like the game, because it's just not true. People have different opinions. And I'm allowed to like it. And I'm very confident that I'm in the majority. I think the majority of people like it. It's just the loud ones that don't like it. Yes, I pretend to like Lego because I need that for work. I went to Comic-Con today, and as I walked in, they had a massive Lego shop. Lego have never been at Comic-Con before. I'm glad I had my cam with me. I was only there to do a panel. I got the train down at lunchtime. With the plan was I was going to get in, do my panel, leave, come home and do this stream. I haven't done my usual big Comic-Con vlog or show floor tour or any of that stuff, but I always have the camera with me to be on the safe side. I literally walked in through the industry entrance, and right in front of me there's this massive Lego stand that had the new Lego Batman game, which I did get to play, and a load of unreleased Lego sets and a big Lego shop. It was fantastic. Video coming out on Block Party tomorrow. Steve Bear, thank you very much for the sub. I think FM26 is fine unless you want to mess about in the YouTube. Yeah, I'd say the simplest version of my take on it is I think if you play the game like I do, you probably like it. And by that, I mean you delegate a lot of stuff. You don't spend a lot of time between menus. You get through a season in about 8 hours and you just basically quick pick, match, quick pick, match, quick pick, match, transfers, quick pick, match, quick pick, match, quick pick, match. If you play the game like that, you'll probably have a nice time with FM26. If it takes you a month to get through a season and you want to be able to press every screen and look at every stat and tweak every setting and control everything and micromanage everything at your club, if you like the detail and the depth and the getting into the nitty gritty, then you won't like it because it hasn't got that at the moment. And looking at the direction the UI has gone in, it might never have some of that stuff again because it looks like it's rather, I know a lot of that. I, as someone who's enjoying it, sees the bugs. There are bugs there that will get fixed, but I have a vision of what the game will be like after the bugs. And after the bugs, it's still going to be quite surface level and simplistic and casual, which is fine by me. That's what I want. That's what I enjoy. I don't think fixing the bugs is going to bring you back all of your little detailed statistical things that you love. And I don't miss any of that because I never used any of that. And I don't mind it not being there. I'm completely fine with it. It's just aimed at a different group of people, I guess, whether deliberately or accidentally. Do you think we'll get more hot fixes between the 4th? I think so. I think they showed their intention by releasing a hotfix at 5 past midnight on Saturday morning. I think it was very much sending a message of, look, we're working all night on a Friday night. We're working at the weekend. And as soon as we fix some stuff, we're going to give you the fixed stuff. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we got another hotfix tomorrow or the next day, and probably 2 or 3 more throughout the beta. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I think they really want to show that they are trying to fix it. We're losing again. Luckily, this is only the whatever this is called, the thing Posh usually win, the Virtue Trophy. Interesting that apparently they got rid of the export support. See, again, that when I heard someone say, I think I saw it on Twitter, someone was like, you can't control P anymore. I genuinely thought, I didn't know you've been able to do that this century. I remember we used to use Control P to print our squad lists out and take them into school and show them to each other in the playground. And that was the last time I did that. And I did not know it was still in the game. It is fascinating how closely targeted it seems to be. How they've got rid of so much of the fluff that I didn't use. They've kept in the core that I enjoy, and they've added in extra features that people like me love. Adding that instant result. I need to get map background again. Let me just check that I can get the YouTube stream back up and running. I think, are we back on YouTube as well? I think we are. So for YouTube, I'll give you the same message I've just given Twitch. That was OBS crashing. OBS has just blown up. The game continued to run. The only reason you can see me restarting the game is because I had to restart my computer because OBS crashed. So yeah, that was not my, I still am crash free on FM26. So I saw you all in the chat. But yeah, OBS just absolutely went off on one. So I don't know when our last save point was. Yeah, I need to get Matt back. Oh wow, we've gone back. We'll quick pick the Bolton, not quick pick, instant result the Bolton game. Yeah, OBS is a piece of junk. I don't mind telling you OBS is a piece of junk. I said to Matt yesterday, he needs to build build a proper piece of software that's actually fit for purpose. It was an API encoding error, whatever that means. Does anybody know what an API encoding error is in OBS? That was the error message I got. And then I tried to rejoin the stream, and OBS told me I was streaming again, but it wasn't coming through to either Twitch or YouTube, so I had to restart the computer. Everyone using it because there's no other option. But it is a piece of junk. Absolutely incompetent program. Yeah. So, yeah, basically that's what's just happened. But I can already hear the FM26 hate crew thinking that was the game crashing. Streamlabs. Streamlabs is OBS though, isn't it? It's just OBS skinned as Streamlabs. OBS is really the only option. That's why everybody uses it. But it is a piece of junk that it's not fit for purpose at all. I've had many problems with it over the years. That's what was causing the lag previously as well. OBS not working properly. Is anyone having an issue with changing starting 11? What sort of issue? Yeah, I just wanted to reload that Bolton game. We got a draw the second time around. Did you notice? Instant result. Ignore that 3-0 defeat. We've drawn that game now. We're turning this ship around. Changing the starting 11 is a clunky mess if you don't use quick pick. Use quick pick then, kids. I can't change my starting 11. Well, that seems like a bug report because you just pick who you want to be in it. Works fine for me. Or use selection advice or quick pick and then tweak it from there. It is annoying that it doesn't fill the bench properly. That's something that it needs to fix. Have I changed the autosave frequency? I put it back to a week, but I think what I might do is make it save after every match so we don't have that problem again. Just in case OBS decides to fall apart again. What camera angles do I like best? I think this is dynamic, or not this. I think the one I'm using is dynamic sideline. I think that's what it's called. It's your opinion that OBS is trash. Agreed. Yeah, I'm part of the problem. I don't ever log bug reports. Yeah, dynamic sideline is the one that I've been using with the lowest camera height and maximum zoom. I think it looks the most like what I had in FM24. Need an option to save after every win. Ah, you're a monster. Yeah, not being able to clear subs is a weird thing. I mean, there's a few little bits like that I'm sure will come with time. It'll be really interesting to see how, because Miles did that interview with Jack, didn't he? It'll be really interesting to see how long they carry on working on FM26 and whether they keep a team on FM26 all year, improving and tweaking and adding little missing things, or if there is a point where they're like, right, we'll fix bugs and we'll work on this international football module, that everything else just becomes part of FM27. And part of me thinks it would be a nice little show of a sign of good faith for the community if they kept a smaller team working on FM26 updates throughout the year. And occasionally, it's not something they have to do loads, but if every few months they just chucked us a new feature. Like, we're sat there in the middle of July and they're like, you know what? His Shouts is ready. Have it now. But knowing how the internet works, do you know what would happen if they did that? If they gave us the new features when they were ready throughout the year, we'd get to FM27 and everyone would be like, there's no new features. I'd be like, we've been giving you them all year. No, there's no new features, nothing new. Tom had Falcao come on in his tracksuit. I had Noni Madueke come on in his tracksuit in an off-camera game. That is quite fun. They need to move to a rolling updates model, and dare I call it a yearly subscription. I mean, I've been saying yearly subscription for 10 years. I know Zealand made a big fuss of it a year ago, and it was Zealand's first time he got some proper negative feedback was when he called for a subscription model. I think it makes sense. And especially when you look at where a lot of Football Manager's players come from, and it would ruin my business model if they took away owning the game, because there goes my affiliate links every year. But the majority of players are playing through Game Pass and Apple Arcade and Netflix anyway. It's a small proportion who actually own Football Manager these days. So you could just go to the point where people like me who want to own it, we pay £3 or £4 a month or whatever it is, whatever a subscription would be, to have it, and everyone else just gets it through Game Pass or whatever service they've got, and they just bring updates out when they're ready. I think that is the sensible way to go. Or, like I said on a podcast at someone, I can't remember what podcast, go to the old Championship Manager model, where we had Championship Manager 1, and then it had a couple of annual updates, Championship Manager 2, a few updates, Championship Manager 3, and then a few annual updates. Get to the point where this is called Football Manager 2, and then we release an expansion pack with the new season. I mean, you could do 2 expansion packs a year then. At the end of each transfer window, you do an expansion pack that gives you the updated squads and maybe a new feature or 2. And then once every 3 or 4 years, you release a whole new game. And then you go into that cycle of, so you sell the new game for 45 quid or whatever they're selling this one for. And then you do expansion packs at the end of every window for 15, 20 quid that give you the new squads and a couple of new features. And then every 3 or 4 years, you get a whole new game. And that just makes sense to me. But I think Miles is against it. Those expansion packs at a third of the original price were goated. There you go, see? Actual goats. Love goats. But I think there's, I mean, this was their opportunity to do it. And the fact that they haven't means they're not going to. Because they can't do, after having this as the game of all the upheaval, they can't come out next year and release Football Manager 3 and tell everyone they're going to expansion packs. So I guess the opportunity to do that was now, and they didn't, so they're not going to. But I do think it would be cool. Schumer, thank you for the Prime. That's a good point. I have got match stats now. I just needed to restart my PC, clearly. It's not, I am not LOLLUJO live typing in the chat. That's Topher. I can spell. There's no way I could sit typing in chat whilst also talking to you. The first one I bought was the one that, yeah, the Italian expansion to Championship Manager 2 was great. I loved that. My biggest issue of the subscription model is not owning the game or worries of it always being online, etc. Yeah, and it is a worry. I mean, we already see with past versions of Football Manager that once the licenses expire, you can't buy it anymore. You can't go on Steam and buy not Championship Manager, Football Manager 22 because the licenses have all expired, so you can't buy it anymore. So if they did it as a subscription model, a software as service model, there probably wouldn't be a way to go back and play the game from 2 or 3 years ago. Whereas at the moment, I can go back and play FM15 if I want to, because I own it. It's on my Steam library. But if it was a software, if it was a piece of service software that was just called Football Manager and updated every 6 months with new squads and new features, the previous one with the previous squads and the previous features would go away. What is this? This is my first penalty shootout. There's not right. Here you go. Here's a Kev quality of life feature that I want. Where's my auto pick penalty takers gone? Can I just continue and not pick them? Good. Come on then. Remember the MMO Football Manager game? I do remember. I didn't play a lot of it. It came out around about the time I was starting uni and getting divorced. So I was busy with other stuff. So I didn't play a lot of Football Manager Live. I'd love for something like that to come back. Penalties do seem hard to score, don't they? Goodness me. Is this a 2-leg round? No. The way the Virtue Trophy works is you get an extra point for winning the penalty shootout if you draw in the group stage. So you play the other 2 teams once each in the group stage, and if you draw, you do a penalty shootout to earn 1 point, 1 extra point. So you get 2 points by winning on penalties and 3 points for a proper win. FM Live did get ruined by database knowledge. My understanding is the reason FM Live died is because they didn't reset the standings often enough. So you basically got to the point where if you started badly and you started falling down the league, people just stopped playing because they were losing. So it got to the point where only the people who were winning were carrying on playing it and paying for it. So it might have worked better if they'd have reset it a bit more often. Done it as seasons rather than just one big ongoing thing. But then I guess the players who were winning would complain. Who would I want for next Posh Boss? I don't really know who's available. I just assume it'll be Grant McCann or Steve Evans and then Fergie again in a year and a half. I don't really pay attention to who else is out there. There's a few rumours of maybe Russell Martin, which I don't think I'm against, just as something different. But I don't really care. They're just placeholder until Fergie comes back next year. Doesn't really matter. Fergie's just having his rest that he likes to have every 3 or 4 years. I love how you hate the manager part of FM, just here for the football part. I don't hate the manager part. I just have different ideas of what I'm a manager, not a coach. A lot of you lot are coaches. You want to be coaches. I am an old school football manager. You don't think Brian Clough was setting the training at Forest, do you? Surely. I am a Brian Clough style football manager, not a head coach. I pick the team. I do the transfers. I don't do anything else. That's all that's needed. I know Russell Martin was a disaster at Rangers, but he got Southampton promoted. Maybe Rangers was too big a job for him. But he's a former Posh captain, so he's got that link with us. So it isn't just a name plucked out of nowhere. It actually makes sense. I do think Clough would pick the penalty takers. I bet he wouldn't. I bet he'd get him to line up in order of who's best at penalties. Jack Watson. Don't know why I've said your full name there. I haven't done that for about 57 months. Thank you for the 59 months. Any players you've brought in that have made a big difference? Yeah. Shall we look at the squad? This guy. Big Bojan. 6'3", and you can't teach that. But he's got a goal every other game as a big meaty boy. So he's probably the one. Maybe you should apply for the Posh job. I would hate to work in actual football. Football people are wallies. I don't like the atmosphere of it. It doesn't suit my personality type, being around laddishness. I don't particularly enjoy attending football matches as a fan these days, because it's just laddishness and aggression and good old slice of homophobia and racism and sexism all thrown in as well. It's not the kind of atmosphere I would be involved in any other circumstance, and I grit my teeth and sit through it if I really want to see the match. But I'd rather just watch it from my own office and not have to hear the morons around me being absolute idiots. Especially as a woman that go alone, it's not very fun to go to games nowadays. Yeah, I think just without getting on one, world's rubbish, isn't it? The world is rubbish at the moment. Oh, God, I forget watching a sporting event in a pub. I just don't go in pubs. I haven't been in a pub for years. It's another atmosphere I just don't enjoy. Right. Let's beat Stevenage, shall we? I go into a nice countryside pub with food. Yeah, I guess if we count... I suppose I had my Christmas dinner in a pub last year. I mean, it was a country pub that... It was basically a restaurant, but looked like a pub from the outside, so I guess it was a pub. It had a bar, so I guess that was a pub. So I do go into nice pubs, I suppose. City centre pub, no interest at all. I don't leave my house, not done for about 2 years now. I mean, I don't go out very often. I went down to London today. I won't leave my house again, apart from to the supermarket, until fireworks night. Next Saturday would be the next time I go out, I should think. I'm probably going to stream every night this week. I am very much enjoying the game, so I do want to stream lots. Those of you who like the Lego content, Block Party will be back on Friday, but I'll probably be streaming here every night before then. Worst thing is when someone invites you to their garden shed pub. I mean, luckily I don't have any IRL friends, so that's not a situation I've ever been in. I don't socialise with people. I don't go out anywhere. So that's not a situation I'm at risk of. I go to Wetherspoons for breakfast. Do Wetherspoons do good breakfast? I've not had one of them for about 15 years. Is this the most difficult you found FM earlier on? Is that Posh aren't great in game? There's a little bit of Posh not being great in game. It's the worst Posh squad there's been in League One in FM for a long, long, long time. But there isn't. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily that the game is hard. More, I don't know how it works fully yet. I don't know, and that's a good thing. It's nice having to learn what works and what doesn't work. I don't know what the overpowered tactics are or the meta players are. I don't know how to hack set pieces. I'm literally starting from a blank slate as a new player and figuring the game out, and that's cool. Yeah, when you say I'm not, that's the other thing to bear in mind as well. When you say I've not started very well, bear in mind, Posh are rock bottom of League One in real life, and the manager's just been sacked. So, in the context of that, we are currently, hold on. How do we get the league table up there? We're currently 8th. We're 1 point outside the playoff, 6 points off top of the league in 8th place. So I'm actually over poor. The board expectation is mid-table. In real life, we're bottom and have just sacked the manager. So I am actually considerably overperforming both board expectation and in real life. So it's not been a terrible start to the season. It's just not our usual top of the league immediately. We'll go straight up to the Premier League and back-to-back promotions. And that's for the best, because that gets boring after a while, doesn't it? There's actually going to be some jeopardy in FM26. I'm probably going to get fired. I'm probably going to get relegated. When was the last time you saw me get relegated? Because there's a question. I do not remember the last time I was relegated. So I think it's good. It's good having to learn the game. FM26 in 2 words. I want one of them to be okay, so I'm trying to work out what my other word is. What can my second word be? I'm tempted to have my 2 words as quite good, but I don't think that is accurate. Parts of it are quite good. Okay, mostly. Great potential is good, yeah? Mostly okay, I think is what I'd go for. But yeah, I think great potential is a good shout. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay works as well. Generally okay works. Refreshing change is good as well. Not bad. Yeah, not bad works. I have completely forgotten to make substitutions, and it is the 93rd minute. So my players are probably quite tired. You distracted me with wordplay. Can we do a last-minute winner without having made any changes? Or are we going to concede because we're shattered? I mean, that was rubbish. Looks pretty is good. Yeah, looks pretty works. It could be worse is not 2 words. And let's not kid ourselves. It could be much worse. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. That's more my thoughts on the game rather than the game itself. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm not enjoying. Oh no, don't get me wrong. I am very much enjoying it. I'll enjoy it even more when the bugs are gone. And I'll enjoy it even more again when I've learnt the UI. We haven't won in 5 games. Win, idiots! Have I got an out of 10 rating? I don't do out of 10 ratings. I've done a gaming podcast for 15 years and I've never given an out of 10 rating. It's not something I plan on doing because I think they're largely nonsense. Because especially in video games, the games industry considers 7 out of 10 a bad rating. And it's like, well, it's not, is it? A 7 out of 10 should be really quite good. 10 should be perfect. 5 should be like average. But that's not how out of 10 ratings work in gaming, and it's dumb. Yeah, I don't need to give it a rating. I mean, if you understand words, you know my thoughts on the game. I've talked about it for 3 hours. Goddess Lady Hades, thank you very much for 24 months. Magic Wand, Kev, 3 FM wishes. What are you going for? Wish number 1, everyone stopped moaning about it. Wish number 2, fix all the bugs. Wish number 3, bring back Fantasy Draft. Would it be in your top 5 end of year show? I wouldn't have thought so. Gaming journalism made a 70 rating. It's not necessarily even the journalism that's made a 70% a bad rating. It's more idiotic game publishers who pay their developers based on Metacritic ratings. That's what's made a 70 bad. Bonuses being tied to getting at least an 85% on Metacritic and nonsense like that. But that's on the publishers, not the journalists. Honest opinion, do you think if things keep like this, we might not get an FM27? Or do you think this might just be a blip? I don't think it's either of those things. I think we'll definitely get an FM27, and I don't think this is a blip. I think this is a leap in the right direction. I think it's expected that it's not as good as FM24. Anyone who thought it was going to be better than or as good as FM24 is kidding themselves and frankly wasn't paying attention to all of the warnings we were given about what to expect, both from SI themselves and from people who've been through this before with Championship Manager 4. I think we all knew it was going to be less of a game. There was going to be less content. It was going to be buggy. I've been telling you to expect it to be a buggy-filled mess for 2 years. So I don't think it's a blip. I think it's a step in the right direction. And I think FM27 will be even better. And I think by FM28, FM29, we'll all be looking back on this thinking, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness they binned off that old FM24 engine and made these changes. Because look at what we've got now. It's phenomenal. And I genuinely think we'll look back. I mean, having lived through Championship Manager 4, I don't look back at it now and I'm furious that it happened. I'm glad it happened because it brought us to where we are. Without everything they did for Championship Manager 4, we never would have got FM05. We never would have got Football Manager in the first place. So, yeah. Every time they make a big change, they balls it up. Bless them. They're Sports Interactive. It's why we love them. They're beautifully chaotic. Yeah, I guarantee, give it 3 or 4 years and you'll have some of the younger creators, whoever the next big Robbo is who comes along, some little 19, 20-year-old in 2030 will be making a video, will make a video looking back at FM24 and laughing at how rubbish it was and laughing at what a joke it was. Can you believe only 5 years ago they were playing this? I don't think Sega will let FM go. If EA are going Saudi, if EA are going Saudi, FM becomes a big... I don't know. Are EA going Saudi? Of course, Sega aren't letting Football Manager go. It makes... I mean... It's baffling that people think it's even a possibility. 5 years ago, Football Manager celebrated getting 2 million players for the first time over a game cycle. FM24 had 20 million players. I'll say that again, slowly. 5 years ago, Football Manager celebrated for the first time hitting 2 million players. 5 years ago. 2 million players was new and exciting. 5 years ago. Now they have 20 million players. Even if half the people who played FM24 hate 26 so much that they never play a Football Manager game again, they'll still have 5 times as many players as they had 5 years ago. It's going nowhere. It is a money printing machine. Never mind the fact that a lot of the money they make now is through Game Pass, through Netflix, through Apple Arcade. They don't even have to sell the game. They're getting the money up front from the contract. You know, it's like WWE with their Netflix contract. They don't have to sell pay-per-views anymore. They're going to make more money than they've ever made in history just because they signed a big TV deal. Apply the same thing to Football Manager. They don't have to sell loads of games because they're going to make more money than they did 5 years ago through Game Pass, Apple Arcade and Netflix. Because they've got a huge player base. Football Manager's going nowhere. I'd love to see Sports Interactive's metrics for the game because I'd expect it to corroborate your story. I imagine it would. Yeah, never mind the money they're making on their database, which, I mean, I made a video about that 3 or 4 months ago. FMDB, their version of all of these analytics softwares that professional clubs use, they're making serious money off that as well. They're not, like they've said themselves, they're not just a game developer anymore. They are making huge money on the back end from selling the database to football clubs around the world. Selling their scouting and analytics software. Almost to the point, and I talked about this in that video that I made, almost to the point where the actual success of the game could potentially be close to irrelevant, but they have to keep making the game so that people keep doing the research for free, so they keep the database, which they're making all the money on. But really, the only reason the game needs to continue to exist is so they can keep making that database, so they can keep selling the database. What questions didn't you like that Jack asked? I wouldn't say there's any that I didn't like. I had a few that I would have asked that were different because we were, I mean, I don't think this is something I'm not allowed to say. I knew that was happening and we were told it was happening in advance and we were all invited to put our pitch in for how we'd want to do it. So I put in a pitch. I had a list of questions that I sent in and said, these are the questions I would ask. But I wasn't one of the ones who was selected to do it. Lynchinator, thank you very much for 16 months. I'd like to think the reason I didn't get to do it this time is because I was the only one who'd done it before. Or apparently Jack did it like 10 years ago, but I've done an interview with Miles for FM19, I think. So I had done it more recently than anybody else. So I'd like to think that's why they didn't pick me. Why has this come up? What's happened here? Does anybody know why we're looking at this? Is somebody injured? If so, we don't know who. Injured. Oh, there it is. There's the injured player. That's rubbish. Okay. This is the first time I've seen this happen. That, and it might just be because I'm colourblind. That's Bobbins. I could have sat here looking at this for 10 minutes and not seen that. That's stupid. But I think that's something they're surely going to fix as well, because that's rubbish. On a red kit, it's near impossible to spot. My word. That was rubbish though, wasn't it? Okay. See, again, those of you who say I'm only being positive, I've obviously been paid by Sports Interactive. I identified something that was rubbish and I've told you it was rubbish. I can identify rubbish when I see it, which is how you know the bits I tell you I'm enjoying, I'm actually enjoying. What's my favourite role that I've used? Probably the poppy seeded one. Like a crusty poppy seed roll, warm out of the oven. Love them. With cheese and pickle on. It's simple, but it's so delicious. And poppy seeds are great. You don't get a lot of poppy seeds anymore. Kept walking away with his big bag of money with a printed SI logo on it. I love the idea that we've been paid by Sports Interactive. And the idea that if we were, I wouldn't disclose it. I mean, I do paid sponsorship stuff all the time. What makes you think I wouldn't disclose that one? Sega are a publicly traded company. How would they get around the advertising regulations of paying us and not having it disclosed anywhere? I mean, it's literally illegal in the UK to do that. You have to legally disclose sponsorships. How much would it take to praise a bleep game? Raid Shadow Legends paid me about $5,000. I mean, to be fair, I kind of enjoyed it as well. I mean, I do have a policy. I don't do brand deals for stuff that I don't like. I turn down so many sponsorships because I won't promote something that I don't like. So the honest answer is, if it was rubbish, they couldn't pay me enough money to do it. But even if it was good, they'd need to give me a lot more than... People are like, oh, you get the game for free. Of course you're going to be nice about it. The game costs £38. I got paid like 50 grand over 3 years to tell you which VPN to use. And you think I can be bought off by a £38 free video game? Come on, boys and girls. Come on now. My price is a lot higher than £38 for a sponsorship. Yes, every now and again they'll put me up at a premiere for the night and buy me a pizza. We're now up to maybe £300 a year they're giving me. Not as cash. That's obviously enough to buy my opinion. Surely if you get it for free, you're meant to use #gifted. I think legally, if I was reviewing it, I would. I mean, I'm not actually playing on a copy that they gave me for free, so it's a complicated area, I guess. The copies they gave me, I gave away as giveaways. So the copy I'm playing on, I actually bought. So, I don't know. They gave me 2 free codes. I gave one to Topher and one of them was given away in a giveaway. Which VPN should I be using, Kev? Don't care at the moment. I'm not under contract to anyone. But I did promote NordVPN for like 3 or 4 years because they're good. I wouldn't have promoted them if they weren't good. I don't know if they're the best now. I haven't needed to know for a year because I haven't worked with them for a while. Depends how good the pizza was. Nice business expense. Yeah, I mean, there are probably very few people in the world who, I mean, actually, that's not true at all. Game shops will do this, but I buy my Football Manager codes wholesale. I don't just go on the Fanatical website and download them. I place a bulk order and they sort me out wholesale with a grown-up invoice and a grown-up payment for a grown-up bank account. And I get them as a bulk. It's very strange buying games that way. I bet you'd advertise something you hate if they offered you free Lego forever. I wouldn't though. Why would I? When I can earn a comfortable living only advertising things I like. I mean, I get so many offers to promote gambling, to promote alcohol, to promote rubbish little mobile games and apps and things. I could make so much money if I promoted everything I was offered. But I don't. I only promote the stuff that I like. If you get the game now on Steam, do you get early access? Yes, but you should get it through my link instead, because it's cheaper than Steam. Right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap things up there because it's 10 o'clock. I've still got a video to edit, and got another solid day of pumping out Football Manager videos tomorrow. So we'll wrap things up there. I am at the moment planning on streaming again tomorrow night. So unless that changes, I'll see you again about 7 o'clock tomorrow. But for now, thank you for watching. Toodle pip. And I am going to, I was going to say go to bed. I'm literally not. I've got to edit a video. Toodle pip, everybody. Bye-bye.